Yo, welcome back to the GM Podcast. I'm Miller.
I'm Gav.
I'm
Jake.
Today, I don't get an intro.
And today, we have a special guest. My braids!
I don't get an intro.
Now look. Shout out to my barber dog. Shout out to my barber dog. Shout out to my braid dog.
I'll put him on.
Like Jason Tatum said, when I get a cut, I think I'm top 5. And when I get braids, I think I'm top 3. And also, Jake's here. That's fine. But let's go ahead and get into the video.
Let's do it.
I know we're excited to talk hoops today. So, this week, Stephen A. Smith and LeBron James going at it. It's been going on for a bit amount of time. The question I want to ask you guys, was Stephen A. Smith in the wrong in this situation?
You want to go first, or?
Yeah, I'll go first. I completely think he's in the wrong. I mean, you know, and I'm a big LeBron fan, and I have no problem with people getting on ESPN and criticizing players, but like it gets to a point where like they just like hating on everything that he does, and like I just think because it's LeBron and they gotta say something about it, and I think it's a little bit more personal now because Bronny's in the league and everything, and you know they had the confrontation in LA a few weeks back, but like to get on there and then it's one thing for LeBron to say something, but like now he's bringing up Kobe's memorial, like that's
and
just,
he was wrong.
Yeah. It's just getting personal and out of pocket, and I think like him and Kendrick Perkins are just like they're big jokes right now.
Yeah, I think you know, Kendrick Perkins going there, flexing. You're a grown man and you blocked him on iMessage.
Congrats. 15-year-old girl
he don't follow me, and then I blocked him. That's not a flex. Stephen A. Smith, you talking about his not going to the memorial, and you were wrong. You shouldn't have even. And you acknowledge that. You know you were wrong for that, but you acknowledged it, but you still did it. Shouldn't have brought that up on ESPN. And then you're talking about. Now you're trying to talk about the things I know about him that y'all don't even know. If we gonna go there, let me spill like if you're gonna say it, but if you're not, don't, because now you're coming for LeBron as a man, and you know, none of us are perfect. None of us are perfect beings. I'm sure Bron has flaws that, you know, inside media members know. Yeah, he might, you know, he's on record of lying. Yeah. Sometimes it's funny, but sometimes it's like, okay, he's lying, but like, I mean, we all have our flaws. Like, absolutely. And I'm not here to defend LeBron, but I think both sides. I think LeBron posting him boxing, like, yeah, Stephen A., I'm not gonna lie, what were you doing?
Bro, that was funny, bro.
It was funny though, but they're both honestly just showing how like neither of them should be entertaining this, because I don't know. I think you could say something. I didn't think nothing LeBron said was bad on Pat McAfee's show. Me personally,
I do.
You do?
So my thing, this whole little dispute is just a male ego problem. That's exactly what it is. And Stephen A. Smith, let's be real. Stephen A. Smith has been the best in his field for an extended amount of time. So we can't just discredit this guy. But at the same time, you are coming for LeBron James. Yeah. A man who people consider the GOAT. A man who has a whole genre of music right now. A man who is beloved by everyone in the world right now. Like, you weren't going to win this battle in the first place. No. Right? So Stephen A. Smith thinking he could even step in and do things like that, it's crazy to me. But at the same time, I did find some hypocrisy in what LeBron said on that show. Yeah, as far as him saying, I have to defend my household, which, yes, you do. But I just don't have to defend my household. I have to defend my teammates.
Or the players.
I ain't seen you defend AD like that.
Yeah.
I ain't seen you defend D-Wade like that. I ain't seen you defend Kyrie like that. No. So let LeBron chill, okay? First off, I think he was on the right, though. Because where this situation started was with Stephen A. Smith going along with the same narrative that a lot of people have. Honestly, our basketball team in high school, a lot of y'all, I don't know if y'all are on the same page, but doubting Bronny in the first place. Yeah. I was. Well, yeah, and when Bronny got picked, it was the world fell apart. Yeah. Like, why did this guy get picked? If you made a big deal about that, I'm gonna be real. I think you were in the wrong. Because once again, this is the 55th pick of the draft. Yeah. There was nothing wrong. If you have LeBron James on your roster, there was nothing wrong with picking this guy up. He was a guy that you could explain. He has a nice shot. Yes. He's a smart basketball player, athletic basketball player, and he's just proven everybody wrong now.
Yeah. Well, I think, obviously, I think if a lot of players were put in Bronny's position with, he has the best training, he's been given opportunity, he has a leeway because his.
I mean, what are we really saying, though?
I'm not taking this away from him. What I'm trying to say is, I don't think it's necessarily. My problem with it is it's done in every industry. Nepotism is, there's nothing like, if I didn't have a job, like my dad would hire me as the owner of a company, like there's not, like it's done in every industry, but because the greatest player of all time has a chance to look out for his son and give him an opportunity, because he's not telling Bronny to start or none of.
No,
he's giving him an opportunity and he's put him in a great position to succeed. Now, like I said, would other players succeed in that same role? Maybe, but Bronny's doing better than most 55th picks. That's just a fact. Yeah. 55th picks aren't dropping 17.
Absolutely.
55th picks aren't dropping 30 points multiple times in the G League. They're not doing it that often.
No.
There's undrafted guys, or there's first round guys that don't do that when they go back to the G League. I mean, I don't know what the numbers are, but when Reed Shepherd went back to the G League, we weren't even talking about that as much as we were, and I don't know what the numbers are. But my point is, Bronny is better than I thought. He proved me wrong. I didn't think he was like.
But where I'll defend you, your take was you just didn't think Bronny was that good.
Yeah, I didn't.
Stephen A. Smith came for LeBron and said, "You need to stop this. You need to stop this nepotism." Why? Once again,
you're telling me, Stephen A., if you had a son that wanted to be a journalist,
he has a nephew right now. If he was a nephew that he is put on to having his own show. So, like, I'm confused on where that hypocrisy lies.
And two, like, also, I feel like like you were just talking about how much Bronny. I think if we did a redraft today, I think Bronny's a first rounder.
He is.
He's a late first rounder.
100% is.
I just did the math with him. He's round 25 to 30.
Yeah, absolutely.
I just did the math with him.
He's grown as a player. He looks so much more comfortable. I mean, the dude's got all the pressure in the world on him, and he looks more comfortable. He's got a shot going. So, like, I just think like this narrative that they try and take that say, he's still here just because his dad, regardless. I feel like he belongs. Like, and he's
belongs.
proved it.
Now he does.
I mean,
he proved me wrong. Ain't no shame in my game. Like,
and once again, cardiac. What did we think he was going to come back from a cardiac arrest? You have to think about the mental toll that takes as well, as far as you trusting your body to get back right on the court.
Yeah. He
came back in the same year that he had the cardiac arrest.
Yeah.
That should say enough about his character.
Yeah.
And what does he do now? He's back to his regular self.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. I just think I don't get it. I don't get the hate at all.
I just think I will say though, like, I feel like ESPN, like, First Take, it's just not like they're trying to just cover the big news, and it's just sort of
it's clickbait. It was a click. This all started off with clickbait and Stephen A. Smith saying that ridiculous statement in the first place.
Yeah.
And honestly, First Take is falling off as a show.
Yeah. I agree.
He is getting much worse. And as someone who, I guess we can call this right here media, if that's fair, I'm going to be real. Like, I just don't think that's a great media coverage show at this point.
Yeah.
Kendrick Perkins and Stephen A. Smith, there's too much bias when they speak. I don't understand the concept of that show anymore. Shannon Sharp is great, but
yeah, I love Shannon Sharp.
I don't know. I can't stand that show at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely more of a First Things First fan for sure.
Absolutely. There's better shows. Honestly, I mean, the fact that Stephen A. Smith is such a character, and Shannon,
it's gonna get views.
Yeah. It's gonna get views. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I'll still tune in from time to time.
Yeah, but
you're not getting any useful sports content from that show.
I don't think I'm gaining ball knowledge.
No, and that's fine.
It's not, and it's also just like, and I understand, like, it's a big market team. Like, obviously, I'm not worried about a low market team, but the Cavs are first, and I think it was the Thunder were first at one point, and all we're still talking about is just the Warriors, Lakers. It's just getting crammed in, and it's just kind of like. But another thing, you think LeBron sort of hasn't really been like, hasn't said anything outrageous in the media. He's sort of been to himself. I feel like more like nonchalant, I guess.
I love that he like,
and and he went on that podcast and just ripping everyone.
Bro,
so
when people get older, bro, they start being real.
Yeah.
Like you can't expect older people. This man is 40, bro. He's basically an elder of the NBA. So like, you gotta expect him to snap at least once. And he has been so good character-wise, you gotta expect it once.
And then, like you said, it just comes down to egos, because you have, like, I hate to say it, LeBron probably does feel some type of way that Stephen A. doesn't have him as the GOAT.
Yeah.
And then he probably felt some type of way about the things that he said, which Stephen A. did cross the line because. But LeBron was also being a hypocrite on the fact that you could read his lips, keep my son's name out your mouth. Like, he said that to him. But then he goes to Richard Jefferson and says, well, you talk about me as a father. So was it about you or was it about Bron?
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So LeBron, you're contradicting yourself in that mark. But on the same side, Stephen A., you going on your own show and saying, I would have swung on him, Stephen A.
Oh, no, that was the worst part of this entire thing.
You would have swung on him? Stephen A., bro, we are talking about a 6'9", 250-pound
physical freak of nature.
What sport? Oh my goodness. Bro.
Could he not play? Is that where you going?
Yeah, bro.
I don't know.
What sport could LeBron not put his mind to as a kid and, like, make it?
And, bro, but this is what I'll give Stephen A. This is a media member, and when he said that, I knew that he was just in this for the clicks.
Yeah.
This is getting his show views.
Yeah.
He is low-key winning from this.
Yeah.
Even though his image is falling, he's getting more views from doing all of this. And the fact that he said he would swing, you're delusional, bro. You are
not going to swing.
You're not swinging, bro. You're not going to swing on him.
Yeah, I don't know. I just, like I said, I think it's just, we see this obviously not just with media members, but this happens day to day with just male egos not being able to put their pride to the side. And,
Absolutely.
Yeah. They both have flaws in this argument. They both have wrongs that they've done. But it's both coming from an ego point of view.
And when it's got to the point where, like, you're on ESPN and you're not even talking about basketball, it's just personal, who's beating up. Like, it's got to stop at some point.
He literally used the words, I don't like him.
Yeah.
And what's the point of that?
But my thing is, every time Stephen A. would start to talk about his GOAT debate, and this is his go-to line, people think I'm disrespecting him because I have him number 2 overall. I think he's a great father. I think he's a great this. He has you can find clip after clip of Stephen A. talking about how great LeBron is, almost like a backstabbing compliment. And then he'll be like, but I have him number 2 all time. Which is fine that you have a number 2 all time. I have him number 2 all time. But you can't go and say that for years and then all of a sudden now go, I don't like him. I've never liked him. Like, stuff like that. Yeah. Like, Stephen A., you're contradicting yourself. So you're two-faced.
Yeah.
You're saying LeBron's two-faced. You're being two-faced on national television. Acting like, and I ain't saying you should have aired his personal business out in the past, but to be honest, I truly do believe as a media member that he should be more mature about it, I guess, or more like, I'm not going to say not entertaining 100%. I felt the initial addressing it was fine. When he called out LeBron for contradicting himself, I think when you just go back and forth is when you I'm ignoring.
The first thing you bring up on the show in the morning is that he didn't attend Kobe Bryant's memorial service.
Once again,
that's just a personal attack.
And you're attacking his character. That was the biggest attack on character. I feel like because that's a sensitive subject.
Yeah,
like you don't touch on that stuff.
No, and you never, bro. This is LeBron James we're talking about. Not saying he's warranted to miss something like that, but like. You never know what people have going on. Yes, Kobe Bryant's memorial. What if something's what if something was really wrong with his daughter that day?
Yeah.
Or so you don't know.
I mean, his son had a cardiac arrest. Like this stuff can happen. It's random.
At the end of the day, he's a father. Like you can't sit here and just judge him for not showing up to a public event. Yes, it would have been great to see LeBron there, even though he did go though.
Yeah.
Even though he did go to the memorial. But I'm saying hypothetically though, that's not something you should be nitpicking as a man.
No.
Another man, because you don't know what they're doing in their personal life. Taking care of they have their own family to take care of.
And I think honestly, it kind of speaks volume about LeBron once again in a positive light. That the thing that made him spaz out was an attack on his family, attack on his son, and an unwarranted attack on his son. So once again, I think that's just props to LeBron.
Yeah.
But we can move on.
Yeah.
All right. So yesterday, Gavin here.
Let's do it.
Thought
I'm ready.
Was going to lose.
I did.
And it low-key looked real for a good portion of the game, actually. But I just want to know, do you still think Duke is an overrated basketball team?
No, I don't think they're overrated. And I'll say I was wrong about my I had some takes about them being like, I don't think they can win, dogfight games. I do think they can win dogfight games. I think this is the biggest team in the country.
Yeah.
Top to bottom. I mean, I watched them play Baylor. Their point guard is literally the size of Baylor center. Like, they are huge. I mean, and defensively in college basketball, it just smothers the other team.
Absolutely.
They just get overwhelmed. And you see, like, I remember Arizona was stuck at 16 points for like 6 minutes, and when they were up early, like, but I did make a take earlier that I thought they would be 3rd or 4th in the SEC. I really did, and it wasn't. It honestly is. I have a lot of respect for the SEC this year. I've never ever in my life, even from watching Carolina, Duke, Louisville with Pitino, like I don't know if I've ever seen a conference like this in college basketball. So it was no knock on Duke, because if you come 3rd or 4th in the SEC, but it was taken as disrespect, because if you're 3rd or 4th in the SEC, you still could be like 5th in the country.
You could be a 2 seed probably.
You see what I'm saying? Like that's how good you could be a 1 seed if you're like hot. You never know. Like, so my take was, like I said, I think if they played in the SEC, they would be 3rd or 4th, and I thought that low of the ACC this year, and I was right about the SEC being that bad. I don't know if I was right about, and we'll never know, but I just in the few games that I watched Duke play, when they played Kentucky and it was crunch time, when they played Clemson and it was crunch time, specifically with Cooper Flagg, when I watched them play, they played Arizona earlier in the year, they looked good in that. It was almost like, okay, I don't know with this young team how they're going to do in a crunch time game against a team that can match them in size, match them in whatever, because when they play Baylor, I wouldn't say they were overly like, the bigs for Arizona are good. I think they don't get enough credit. I like the bigs for Arizona. But I don't know, like, and Cooper Flagg proved me wrong last night. I mean, he showed up. That's an elite performance from a freshman.
Absolutely.
37 and 6? Yeah. That's impressive.
He had 37?
Yeah. No, 30.
Oh, my fault.
7 and 6.
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah.
30. No, it's 37 and 6. Yeah, but elite performance. Didn't miss a free throw. Like little stuff like that is just impressive from a player in a freshman in a big time game like that, and his playmaking ability. Yeah. So yeah, and I think my take will be proven not necessarily right, but arguable or wrong. Yeah. When they play Bama. Because if you lose to Bama, then it's like, okay, they might have been 3rd or 4th in the SEC. True. And, so I think that'll be, and if they just beat Bama very convincingly, then I'll just have to eat my words, Yeah. But I do think that to this point, after what I've watched with SEC basketball this year, and I do think that they're gonna lose to Alabama. I don't know, but I just like Bama, and I know you don't feel the same, but yeah,
I definitely don't. But
yeah. And first of all, any team that shoots 25 threes is gonna win.
Literally, like if Alabama plays like they played last night,
Florida can't mess with them.
No one in the country can.
I don't think Duke's overrated at all. I think top to bottom, they're complete. I think their bench they don't really fall off there at all. What scares me about this team is and I keep telling Gavin, is that they are freshmen and they come in there every single night on a business trip and they're there to win. Yes. And you never see them rarely out of focus. They literally come to play. And if one of them has an off night, let's say Khan has an off night, Cooper's there to pick up the slack. Vice versa, Proctor. Malawak, whatever. Exactly. It's always they always got another option to go to, and it makes it so hard to guard because literally all 5 guys out there can play. The only thing that worries me about them is when they start to play, it gets close down to that 4-minute mark. I just don't know if they can, just because of an experience thing. Because we've seen, who was it? It was Kansas and who else had lost at the beginning of the year? Kentucky. Yeah. And then Clemson. Close games there, and they all just couldn't finish. So that's the only thing that worries me. But I think if they're up the whole game, they should have no problem.
And that was my question. They played. So in my eyes, if I had my bracket, how I think it's finna go, they're gonna play Bama. Then they're going to play Houston, and then they're going to play, I would say, either Florida or Auburn. I'm pretty confident I would say it would be one of those two. And I don't know if they can win. And I can tell you this, all 3 of those games, or at least 2 of the 3, they will not be up more than 10. Neither team will be up more than 10 in any point in the game. And if it do, it'll and I truly do think that. Especially Houston defending the way they do. All 3 of those teams I named are just really good.
Maybe Bama.
Maybe you're right, because if they're not hitting shots, there's a way that Bama gets beat bad, but
I wonder if Bama will be able to guard them. That's my only concern. Just because Bama's defense, they guarded yesterday, but
didn't. No, they didn't.
You don't think so?
They scored 88 points.
Yeah, no.
They're fast-paced teams, but
absolutely. But like you said, Bama's defense is actually pretty bad in my opinion.
On the perimeter.
On the perimeter, that's where I'm getting.
Because I like the Grant Nelson, the Clifford.
Exactly.
So I think it's going to come down to will the guards for Duke show up, like the Kneppel, the Proctor, because I do think Clifford can, we saw Malowatch in the first half was pretty irrelevant scoring-wise.
Yeah.
I think Clifford is better than all the bigs on Arizona. I think Clifford will be able to manage the bigs for Duke. I think Grant Nelson will be Grant Nelson's going to have to guard
the thing is,
Cooper Flagg. That's
Duke,
an assignment.
Duke, that's going to be a matchup.
Florida, it seems like Florida has gotten a lot of credit for having great bigs. Duke has 3 great centers that are playing great right now. Yeah. And Malik Brown, you could say he was out. Before he got injured, he was playing good, and yesterday he gave them good minutes.
Yeah, I just love Connon and Hall. I'm not going to lie. And then they have – I feel like they get something – Florida gets something different from each one of their bigs. I would still take – I'm not going to lie. I love Florida's 3 bigs. I do love Florida's 3 bigs, especially
I'm going to be real. I think they're on the same level.
Yeah.
I do. I think Alex Condon's the best one, though, in my eyes. And
I'll give you that this season.
But I think Dukes are, I could say they're better defensively.
Absolutely. And
I think Florida is more of an offensive
with
type of big.
Bama, I think there's too much size. It's too much size for Bama. And once again, they have no perimeter defense. And my biggest thing with Duke and their biggest weakness that I think they actually showcased last night, and like y'all been saying in the last 4 minutes, is not the inexperience. Because like you just said, these freshmen don't play like freshmen. It's not the inexperience. They don't have a point guard. Like, they literally don't have a true point guard. Cooper Flagg was bringing the ball up every possession, and he was getting tired yesterday.
Yeah.
And I think that's where, they do have a true point guard. I want to say that.
Who?
Caleb Foster. And he doesn't see the floor enough as I think he should.
Yeah,
because I've seen Caleb Foster play in the ACC tournament.
Yeah.
I've seen him play all of a sudden at the end of the Carolina Duke game, all of a sudden, and come in and win them the game. And I've seen him come in and play with confidence in these tournament games, and you could just see he's playing with confidence, and that's hard to do.
And I think it's
coming in like
it's going to be a tough choice for Shire because once again, when you got guys like Sion James that are 6'5", you really don't want to take them out. But once again, I saw Cooper Flagg getting pressured and him struggling to get the ball up the court yesterday. And Tyrese Proctor wasn't coming to get it.
No.
Sion James wasn't coming to get it.
That's why Proctor's so good this year because the first 2 years they tried to kind of use him like a point on the ball, and you can just see he's just an off-the-ball player.
And now,
he's a great off-the-ball player.
And that's why I think the team that is best fit to beat Duke is Auburn. And I know they already beat Auburn.
I'm not going to lie, Duke fan, and I'm not saying, yes, that win proves that you belong and all that. But, you beat them at Duke. It's just different than the tournament. I see a lot of Duke fans pop that win a lot. It just solidifies them.
I don't like that one. Let's relax.
It's at Duke, and it's early. It was early.
These teams are totally different from they were in November than March.
They're not even close to the same teams.
Auburn's perimeter defense is elite. Those guards are dogs.
Yes.
And that's what I'm scared in a late game stretch. If that game is close,
and you throw it down to Janai Broom and the game gets slow, run a set. Throw it to Janai Broom. Janai Broom's going to make the right play every single time. He's going to throw it to the post. If you don't double, I don't care if it's a Malowatch. It is a bucket.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like if Duke's leading down the stretch, I'm comfortable. But if it's a tie game with 2 to go,
I don't know. I agree.
And that's my point. And I don't know if they're going to be in this situation that they've been in the first 3 games where at some point they're in a comfortable position. Even in Arizona, there was a point where we didn't expect the game to get that close. I literally turned it off. I texting no, it shouldn't have got that close. And Carolina, you're up 20 at half. It shouldn't have got that close.
Yeah.
And things like this just don't give me national championship vibes. It gives me great talent. But I can't even sit here and say that I trust this Duke team more than I trusted the undefeated Kentucky team going to play Frank Kaminsky.
Wait. Say that again. I didn't hold on.
The Kentucky team that started 5 freshmen.
You trusted them more?
I trusted that Kentucky team more. That
they were undefeated though.
I know. That's what I'm saying though. And even that, that's my point. I don't know if I fully trust this Duke team to go beat the 3. Assuming it's those 3. Now, if Duke were to somehow find a way to play, Houston play Texas Tech.
No. That's a different.
Houston plays Purdue.
Purdue or the other team.
If Duke plays Purdue, it's they're going to the Natty.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, so there's a way where Duke can definitely win the Natty, but if the matchup that I don't see them win. I don't see Duke winning the Natty with the matchups. The 3 matchups in a row that I just named. That's my point.
You talking about Alabama, Houston,
Houston, and then either Florida or Auburn. It could be either or. Yeah, I don't see them beating all 3 of those in a row. Now, like I said, if they mess around and play Purdue, then what? Then it's like okay, like. But that's just my take. I just don't see them beating all 3 of those teams in a row because I do feel like, and if they don't face adversity in any of these games and they win the Natty, like if they
I'm sort of interested.
Like you said, what?
Did they not face adversity yesterday?
I'm saying like
no, bro. I think we got to give them credit. There was multiple runs that Arizona had that Duke said, "Stop, no more of that."
I'm not saying
that was the most impressive part of their game yesterday. Every time it seemed like Arizona was about to make a run.
Yeah, they just put their foot back on the gas.
Put their foot back on the gas.
I'm saying, and this is credit to Duke, what I'm about to say. So let me finish before I'm not discrediting. I'm saying if they go and win the national championship with no real down 8, down 6, Arizona was tying the game. Arizona was going up 2. That's not really if Duke wins that, we got to talk about this team with, because then it's once again, I talk about with the Eagles, with Jason Tatum, with Jalen Hurts. We got to talk about that with this team. No matter how bad the ACC was, we did what we were supposed to do. We won the national championship. You can't. That goes to wash.
Yeah.
The weak ACC, all of those things go to wash because.
And then you could legitimately say this is the best Duke team of all time if they win a Natty.
Yeah, you can make an argument.
I agree.
I would argue.
You think
hard?
You think this one's better than the Zion team?
Already, they're better than Zion. Did Zion lost in the Sweet 16?
It was 8.
Oh, okay. Well, Elite 8. So Taco Fall.
That's why I said it's a little too early.
Nah, but I don't like that comparison at all. Yeah, you saw real freshman stuff with Zion, RJ, and Cam. I don't think it was the same.
Well, or was it Trey?
It was Trey. It was Trey.
I honestly just think this team's deeper than that team.
They're deeper. Their freshmen are better in my opinion.
I think that 6th man was 7th man was Joey Baker. That's not.
This team has. What do they play 10 guys?
Yeah, Isaiah Evans.
You got at the big. You got Malawach, Malik Brown, Gongba. That's
what I'm saying, bro. Those are 3 good. I think those are
Caleb Foster, Isaiah Evans, and the light skin 18.
Oh yeah,
Mason Gillis.
Yeah.
From Purdue, national champion.
It don't fall off at all.
They are 10 deep. That's bro. This is a squad we're talking about, bro, and that's why. I'm not gonna lie. I can see them winning a Natty.
And that's why this Duke team is so good, and people don't understand. It's not. I'm not saying it's not Cooper Flagg. He's the best player. It is Con Kneppel, but you have guys like Malik Brown and Mason Gillis. Those are 2 elite transfer portal pickups for Duke. Seniors.
Malik Brown's senior?
Nah, but
I don't think so.
Junior you got, but Mason Gillis is either a 4th or 5th year.
Yeah.
You have these.
Sion James is also a 5th year.
He's a grad, yeah. So you have these older guys who, even Proctor's a junior. You have these guys who, they're probably just great to put around Cooper. Con Kneppel and Proctor, other than I don't know, Walter Clayton. I don't know if there's a better 2 to put around.
No, there's
Cooper
not.
Flagg.
There's not.
So I want to give John Shire some credit for team building.
Yeah.
But before we move on, I do want to touch on an argument that we had last night on your take on Cooper Flagg. And do you, as a prospect, how do you feel about him?
All right, so I'm going to just go ahead and say it.
Okay.
I think Cooper Flagg is a better prospect than even Wemby was. And y'all hate that.
Yeah, I do.
Y'all absolutely hate that.
I do too.
But y'all have a completely different outlook on scouting than I do. I look at it as if I see this player and another player, and I see so much Kawhi Leonard and Cooper Flagg, it is unbelievable. And I also see playmaking that Kawhi Leonard has never had. That's what I see that's literally what I see, and I think he's a little bit weaker. He's not as strong as Kawhi. But this is an individual.
He's 18.
He's 18 years old. And what can he not do? He can. Everyone has said they don't know if the 3 is going to translate. He's shooting 39% right now. When he played against Team USA I know this is a scrimmage, but that shot was looking cash. He shoots the mid-range well. He facilitates well. And let's talk about the person he is. He's a dog. He wants it. And he's not going to cause a franchise any problems. He's going to be the exact guy in a world where we got Zion Williamsons, LaMelo Balls. He's going to be a guy that you don't even have to worry about as far as off-the-court issues. This is an individual that, once again, I honestly think you said he couldn't be a 1A on a championship team. I think he could be a top 20 player of all time.
Cooper Flagg could be a top 20
Cooper Flagg can be a top 20 player of all time. Oh. And obviously it's not that crazy of a take, honestly. I mean, this is literally one of the best prospects that we've seen. Yeah. I think he's the best prospect since, honestly, Anthony Davis.
I don't think you can, as a prospect, I don't think you can put him above Wemby.
Yeah, I don't think as a prospect, because when we talk about prospect, we talk about like...
Nah, wait. Before y'all go, I'm going to let you make your take.
Yeah.
I have said this so many times. I want both of y'all to tell me, 5 years, Game 7, NBA Finals, San Antonio Spurs, Wemby finally led them there. Offensively, what does it look like him dominating a game? Because we haven't seen it yet. I want to know.
3 level.
3 level?
3 level.
Have you seen a mid-range yet?
He can shoot threes and dunk the ball. Like, what else you need? You don't need to get the mid-range.
I guarantee you every team playing Wemby wants him to shoot the 3. So next, can he shoot the mid-range yet? Have we seen that tool?
Yeah, you could say that with Cooper. With
you can say that about Kristaps, and you can say that about Bobo. Like, I'm telling you, those are the closest comps to him.
Okay, but they're the closest comps, but you can't put them in the same category because Bobo was the 40th pick. So scouts that got paid to do this obviously saw something completely different from Bobo and Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah,
they saw something completely different. And I think when we talk about prospect, we're talking about like the possibility, the likelihood of them being blank. Like, you know, get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I think I'll say Cooper Flagg's a safer pick. But when we're talking about the ceiling of a prospect, I've never seen a higher ceiling for a prospect. It's higher than Kevin Durant's. I think this is the highest.
But you just say that because he's 7'4" and can shoot.
We've never seen that.
Kristaps Porzingis is 7'4" and can shoot.
He can't move like Wemby.
He can't move like
He was blocking shots just like Wemby.
No, he's not blocking. He's not blocking 4.
I'm not going to argue he's as good of a defender, but he was doing a lot of similar things on the defensive end.
But not to the level. He's not blocking 4 shots a game. He's not moving how Wemby's moving. No, we've never seen this.
You acting like Wemby is really like doing dudes off.
He can really dribble.
But how does it translate is what y'all have to understand. Bro, if you put a smaller, let's say you have an athletic 4 that's stronger and can get under him, he's not putting the ball on the ground.
No, he's just going to shoot it. He doesn't see him.
He better make
you try to,
but they want him to take that shot. And once again, the only way I see Wemby being the level of what y'all are saying, he has to be not a Stephen Curry level of shooter. I'm not gonna say that, but he has to be one. He has to be a top 10 shooter of all time because that's what his game is right now. He's not getting into that mid range. He's not getting into that post.
But why? Like, I get what you're saying, and I do think Wemby needs to simplify his game. I'll say that, and I think that'll come. Like, he's a young. I think Wemby he's so good of a prospect. He's so highly respected as a prospect that we want him to be LeBron James in year 2. But I'm going to be honest, Wemby, look at his numbers. They've improved from year 1 to year 2 in almost every single statistical or percentage category. So, once again, I'm going to start worrying about Wemby when his stats or stuff like that get stagnant. Or if the health issues continue. That's another worry.
And that's something that once again is a prototype of a player of his size.
And once again, that's why I talk about. That's why I said Cooper Flagg might be a safer pick. But when I talk about ceilings, this man Wemby is averaging. This man, we can all agree Wemby's going to be better than what he is right now.
Yeah.
He's already averaging 25, almost 11. He's averaging 25, 10, around 3 or 4 assists and 4 blocks. Like, we probably, if we had to pick a defensive player to play the 5, we would pick him over anybody in the league, I would say. The only one you could argue is Anthony Davis, I feel like.
I would definitely take Anthony Davis. I mean, Embiid gave him 71 last year. This is what I'll say.
But I mean, bro, it's Embiid. Like, I feel like Embiid was giving anyone 71 on that night.
If Wemby ever catches Jokic in his prime, Jokic is doing his ass. Like, doing him the worst way.
Who isn't? Like Like, look,
doing him the Karl Anthony Towns did a pretty good. Those Timberwolves did a pretty good job on Jokic compared to other teams.
But no. But I seen Jokic go get 40, 10 on Anthony Davis in a playoff game. Like,
that's very
it's
true.
Jokic.
Yeah.
Like, it's Jokic. Like, I feel like when we talk about Jokic, we talk about, you just say Embiid top 5 scorer of all time. If someone told you that,
right. Yeah, that's a good point.
There's certain players that we know this. No matter how good of an offensive player you are.
And I'm gonna be real.
I mean, defensive. My fault. No matter how good of a defensive player.
I agree. I think defensively, we're not even talking about him defensively.
And
but Cooper Flagg. Can we talk about Cooper Flagg defensively?
It's just I mean,
is he not just? I'm not gonna lie.
He's more versatile.
That's extremely important, bro.
Yeah, it's extremely important. But I think Wemby, like,
I think you could put them on the same level and it would be warranted on that side of the ball.
I mean, like, people go in the paint and they can't even score because Wemby's in there.
Yeah, like,
that's what I feel
it's
like.
But
Cooper doesn't have
why
that
when teams play the Spurs, like, it's almost like jump shot when he's in the game and he's like around the rim.
His presence.
Literally, jump shot is the only option.
Yeah.
But Cooper Flagg is an elite shot blocker in his own right, and you can easily not even just chase down. He's an elite shot blocker in his own right, and he can guard the perimeter at an elite level.
Like, yeah, he's the best defensive prospect I've seen other than Wemby since.
And honestly, since we're here, like, do y'all think there's been another prospect? Since y'all are talking like this, is there another prospect that's been better than Cooper Flagg since let's just say 2010?
Help me, name Zion.
AD.
Okay,
Karl
so
Anthony
AD's better.
Towns.
Karl Anthony Towns, like, he looked good at Kentucky. Don't get it twisted, but like, bro, I cut on the film and like, maybe this is just me because my eye. Like, Karl Anthony Towns, he averaged 10 points. Like, he's on a stacked team.
Karl Anthony Towns just plays in the wrong era, in my opinion.
I'm not gonna lie though, I like Paulo. Like,
Yeah, I
like Paulo more than Karl Anthony Towns.
Do you like Paulo more than Cooper Flagg?
I
think Cooper Flagg is a better playmaker.
There's no discussion here. There is no discussion here.
No, I think Cooper Flagg's better.
But there's
because of defensive playmaking.
Defense and playmaking. That's what I'm saying. I just don't think there's an argument.
Yeah.
I honestly think, bro, we've been seeing Cooper Flagg for a long while. He wins at every level.
Yeah, no, he does.
Everywhere he goes,
he plays the Banson Stokes. He wins. He plays. He's won his whole high school career, and now they're in an Elite Eight. And I'm not gonna lie, even if they lose, like, it wasn't a failed season. It's the Elite Eight. A lot of teams don't get what are we really going to say? I think another thing that is so unfortunate, and unless he's just this good, and I don't think he's this good. I don't think Wemby's this good for the category I'm about to say. I think maybe only LeBron. Maybe only LeBron. I don't know if Wemby can go to some of these teams that are about to be the first pick and win a title. I think he can turn the franchise around. I think he could get them a 4 seed. I think he can get them a 3 seed. Do something like Anthony Edwards.
But that's another thing.
And it's so unfortunate because, bro, if Anthony Edwards was in any type of market, not even like the biggest, like if you put Anthony Edwards in the Heat organization, I think he gets a ring. I think he becomes better than D Wade maybe. But some of these players we'll just look at as individual, but we won't look at them as great as they once would be because, bro, I'm not gonna lie. If Cooper Flagg goes to the Jazz, I don't ever see him.
And that's very true.
Like, I don't ever.
If the Jazz,
if he goes to the Wizards,
well, no, I can see him. Actually, what am I talking about? I can see him turning. Both of those teams around.
No, I just said he could turn them around.
I'm saying,
win a title with the Jazz.
Absolutely.
How though? They got to win some other draft picks.
No, they got. I mean, obviously the general management, but it's not. What I'm saying is, it's not really because of him.
They got Ainge
and this is what frustrates me about Wemby. I'm not gonna lie. At the beginning of the season, people were expecting this team to at least be playing, right? That's a fact. A lot of people were saying playoffs, and then after he gets hurt, and I point out that they were nowhere even near the play-in. It's now, it's not Wemby's fault. It's not. They weren't supposed to be. Bro, some of it. If we're gonna put this guy on that level, some of it has to fall on him as well. And I know he's young. I know he will get better, but right now he hasn't had an impact on. I haven't seen it. And y'all brought up France the other day, like, bro. France.
FIBA doesn't mean anything.
I mean, that's impressive. He brought him to a title.
Who they beat? They beat Shea.
Canada, Germany.
They beat Shea.
And if it weren't for Curry, they would have beat USA.
If it wasn't, they didn't beat USA.
But I'm saying they competed.
So he didn't win.
They competed in
hoop. The dude's 18 on the biggest stage and played his heart out. Like, I'm saying, like
in FIBA basketball, where he's been, like, that's his scene. And Francis, and once again, if we're using that, Francis has been playing together longer than all of them guys. Yeah. He knows how to play in that system. So I'm not finna use the French national team to judge how good he is. Like, what are we really talking about? Where he can block it off the rim if he wants to. That's not a good argument. I would rather use the Team USA.
I'm just, like,
I think the USA scrimmage was more important. Well, I'm not more important because
scrimmage. Yeah,
I think I just saw like that was impressive.
No, it was.
I'm not saying any, but like to compare a prospect, I just feel like someone that we've never seen with our eyes before. A prospect that we've never seen. I'm not saying we've seen Cooper Flagg before. Cooper Flagg might be the best out of the last 10 years, but like, you cannot say that something we've never seen. We may never see. We may see it, but like Wemby is one of ever for right now.
Right.
Like, I just don't like the prospect. Like, if they did a redraft today, it would put Cooper Flagg in the league in a year. I think if you do a redraft, I think every GM's taking Wemby just because, like Gavin said, his ceiling is so much higher.
And I think, like I said, when you use the word prospect, I think that. So if the trajectory goes how I think it's gonna go, and I love his attitude and the way he carries.
Me too, absolutely.
I'm not talking about Cooper.
I know. I'm still,
you know where I'm going. You know where I'm going.
I'm still with you.
I think DeBanto will be better than Wemby. Like,
you think he's a better prospect?
But no, I don't think he's a better prospect.
See, no, this one. All right,
that's my point.
Let me lay it to you in a different form. All right, you see an 8 on the street, right?
8.
8, and somehow.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
I'm talking about a girl. You see an 8. You see an 8. All right, and you know this girl has her head on her shoulders. She has a future lined up. And she's an 8. Like, she looks kind of good, right? And she looks like she's a pretty girl. And then you walk down the street and you see a 10, right? There's a possibility that, like y'all are saying, this girl could be the woman of your dreams, the absolute belle of the ball. She does great things in her life. She keeps the right priorities first. But there's also a world where she is crazy. And we've seen prospects fail. We've seen out of this world prospects fail. Yeah. Zion right now, as much as he has been great, he has not worked. You cannot tell me he has worked as a prospect.
I agree.
Because of just...
Wait, you mean...
But it hasn't all been his fault.
Coming out of college.
You're saying he hasn't, like, panned out.
He has not panned out.
I thought you meant he wasn't working.
And the thing about it is, too, safety, you can't just say he's a safer pick. Safety...
availability is the best ability.
Exactly. You have to factor that in. Yeah. Which is, once again, why I'm saying Cooper Flagg is just safe. Like he's a lock to be at least an all-star.
I'll say, I like that.
Like,
to be an all-star.
There's no conversation in my opinion. And Wemby's already done that, right? So I'll give him props.
Yeah, all-star.
But I legitimately think Cooper can average 25 in this league.
Well, 7 already does.
I agree, but to say he's going to lead the Utah Jazz to a championship,
he won't.
I didn't say he was going to lead the Utah Jazz to a championship.
To say that we got to see him first. Like, and we got to see how he's going to pan out in 2-3 years. But like, Wemby definitely has that ability.
But y'all paint out a ceiling for Wemby literally only based on the fact that he's 7'4". But at some point,
I've already seen stuff though.
Imagine he was 7'4" with a post hook. Instead of a three ball.
I get your frustration with that.
Do you see what I mean? Like,
I get your frustration.
If he had a post hook and she could shoot the 3, I'm not even talking about this right now.
Let's say this though. Let's say he doesn't have a post hook. Let's say he keeps making you mad with the way he plays. But what, he averaged 20 year one? He averaged 25? I'm not going to jump him 5 points because that's crazy. Let's say
it's not effective yet though.
Hold on. Let's say he jumps to 27, 28. If this man averages 30, 10, 5, and 4 blocks, like that, like has anyone ever done that? I don't know.
I don't know.
Like, he will have a stat line. He would have a complete stat line. Yeah, there would be no point of the floor where you're like, Wemby, nah. I want to play Wemby. He can't. Nah, there's no he can't. Like, he can everything. Like, he can play make. He's not elite play make. Like, but he's gonna draw so much attention. He's gonna probably become an elite playmate. Like,
but do we know that? What attention does he draw though? Offensively,
you're good.
You're not doubling him in the post. You're living. Like, that's what teams do right now. This
man is gonna average 30 at some point in his career.
Bro, but all that stuff is tools. Like Karl Anthony Towns in his early career, the stats were impressive. Like you would have thought this guy was at least probably a top 8 player in basketball. Sometimes, guys, stats don't lead to winning. And I don't like empty calories. I like eating good.
I agree.
I like wins. And this is his second year, man. And we crowned him as what, like y'all just said, we have never seen this guy before.
Never.
I would have liked to see him actually be at least. And I'm not gonna lie, if he was in the play-in this year, I don't even know if I'm speaking this hotly. Like I think I'm actually more excited. But he did have a year where his roster was not the worst. I mean, he has complimentary players at least. Like
I don't love, especially because, but I do think
you don't have to love it. But he's supposed to be an elevator, bro.
No, he's supposed to be an elevator, but he's also in the West. And I will say one thing that I guess is because it's more of a reliant position rather than, even though his style is a little different. But I do look at, I want to be real patient with Wemby, unlike a forward or a guard, on the fact that I look at all-time bigs, like, let's just look at the ones that are good right now, like Embiid, or with Jokic.
Davis.
Like, it took them some time to...
That is true.
To win. Because they were reliant on... I mean, look, Anthony Davis as a prospect, you could argue and say, like, yeah, like, out of college, he looked more promising than Wemby, whatever. Like, it's not like he was a great prospect. I mean, you talk about...
He won a natty, so
you talk
it's
about,
like...
And he was a better defender than Cooper Flagg.
No,
like, he was
not even close.
Anthony Davis as a prospect was like... He had more blocks than teams in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah.
Like, he was that good. But I mean, he goes to the Pelicans. He's a big. So
well, hold on. I'm not gonna lie. Anthony Davis in his early years was better than Wemby was, though.
It's only in year 2.
Yeah, I gotta see it.
I don't know. That was
because they both weren't winning.
But I'm just saying,
that's what I'm saying.
They both weren't winning.
But I do remember watching Anthony Davis and thinking much higher than I thought about Wemby, just because Anthony. But I think at that time Anthony Davis was kind of generational. Like he was shooting the mid Pelicans AD. Don't get me started on Pelicans AD. Like that was a different monster as well.
I'm about to check right now.
I just think regardless, we can't knock off Wemby until...
I mean, year 1 he was averaging 13. Year 2 he was averaging 20. It didn't take to...
What was you about to say?
I'm saying I don't feel like we're gonna knock off Wemby it may take him a few years to get it going to where he's really that guy, but like you cannot say that with the generation going out and he is not in the best position right now to take over. I think he will.
Look,
I ain't gonna lie, they're kind of on the same pathway statistically.
I still think Wemby is going to be a top 10 basketball player.
Like you think Cooper Flagg would have had a better 2 years than Wemby?
Yes.
Record would show.
No, but that's just me. No, yes.
I'm not.
But I think he's a better player though. I just think.
Well, he's
a more sharp player right now. He knows who he is more. Like he's more sure of himself as a basketball player.
I mean, like I said, I think.
Like if Wemby ends up where y'all think he's gonna end up. I think his jump is more significant than y'all jump because y'all already think he's there. I think if he gets where y'all are saying, his jump is going to be the biggest one in NBA history. Because I literally don't think he's there yet. Like I just don't see the dominance.
So, like I said, dang, that actually might be that was a good take. Like I think we do need to be more patient with bigs, even with not just with Wemby, but when we talk about guys like Derek Queen, when we talk about guys upcoming, these bigs that are coming out in the draft, we need to be more patient with them. Because, like, statistically he's better, but he's kind of on the same pathway as, not winning, but he's on the same pathway as AD, All-Star in year 2. AD was averaging 2.8 blocks, 2.9 the year after that, but Wemby's averaging 4. They both have 10 rebounds a game.
But once
points
again,
wise, AD was averaging 13.
Stop bringing up the stats for a second, because that's not my argument. I know the.
But they both weren't winning. That's my point.
But yeah, and I understand that. But when you watched AD, there wasn't a lot AD couldn't do, bro. There was literally nothing offensively that AD couldn't do at that point. I mean, he wasn't shooting a 3-ball, but like I said, I'm trading that inside game as a big for the 3-ball because I can build around that. What y'all are not understanding from my point is that maybe just the style that Wemby plays isn't the best way to win, and it might never be. Because, did we watch Texas Tech yesterday?
Yeah.
Did we watch how effective that hook shot? Bro, if Wemby... Bro, oh my gosh, bro.
I get what you're saying.
I am the biggest fan of a hook... Look, I'm going to tell y'all right now, everybody in the audience, I am the biggest advocate. Bro, and I'll put it like this. I am a 5'10" individual. I'm not going to have the luxury of having a 7-footer, right?
Right.
Bro, if you are 7 foot and you want your kid to play basketball, please give them a hook shot. You win games like that. Like, it's an unstop, bro. If 7'4", Wemby is 7'4". I'm telling you, if he could just get a game, and I'm not even talking that. I'm talking about if he can get that turnaround. Like, that's the one thing. In 5 years, if he gets to the level, that's going to be a move that I think, because I don't think he's going to be banging down there. I think he's going to have like a little turnaround J from the
But he
mid.
could be on
I
some
know.
LaMarcus Aldridge.
But, like,
turnaround.
That's what I want to see.
But I feel like he's coming off a screen and he's going to the rim. No one's going to challenge that. No one.
No. And that's always going to be effective.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like if we have something like that, a guy that's moving crazy we've never seen, and he's got the 3 ball. It's like I feel like how can you not knock that? Like, let me ask you: you think if you let's take a random GM and they get a redraft today, who are they going to start the franchise with? You think it's Cooper Flagg? Let's count this draft.
If I'm the GM, like,
I just don't know.
I would take Luka because bro, Luka is one of my least favorite players, bro. I've said this so many times. I'm not even scared to say it at this point. LeBron just saved him for getting chewed out for a week by getting that tip in because the 2 possessions before that, he didn't guard a single soul. So I don't even like Luka. But you can't deny, if he is on your team, you already have a top 2 offense in basketball.
I agree.
So you have to take Luka. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. I'm taking him.
All right.
He's the same age. I'm probably taking
Same age as who?
as Luka. Just about.
Oh.
Oh, no, not Cooper Flagg. Not Cooper. No. But I would argue 5 more years. I'll take Jokic. Still.
He'll be 36.
I agree with you.
Well, yeah, he's gonna be a big. I don't think he's gonna translate very well to his older age. Never mind. I take that one back. So I might take
He's
one
gonna be
before.
Celtic Shaq.
After Cooper Flagg, AJ DeBanster. AJ DeBanster's the goods.
he can't wait till DeBanster gets in college.
Bro, I can't wait till DeBanster gets to the league.
His new Cooper's gonna be DeBanster.
Bro, when DeBanster gets, bro, did y'all see what BYU did this year? They were winning a natty, bro.
How many guys do they have coming back?
If Demeen stays, they're winning.
You talking about Igor?
Yeah.
Nah,
Shit, no, Matt, they just need-
Yeah, I think he's going to
They need to give him a big and 3 shooters, dude. They'll be
They
back.
still not going to. They still going to
Absolutely.
natty though.
All right, shall we move on?
I'm down.
All right. We got a little segment for you guys, a little new. Overrated or underrated?
All right, let's do it.
All right. First person I want to start with, Giannis Antetokounmpo. And I'm talking legacy here. I'm not talking about right now.
What he like will be? Like, or what?
Like, do you think his legacy right now, by the majority of the NBA media, is overrated or underrated?
I'm not going to lie. I think Giannis is becoming underrated.
That's interesting.
I think he's becoming underrated. And I honestly think, I don't know a big in the history of the game. Hakeem. Definitely no big since 2000. Even Shaq. Like, there's no big since 2000 for sure that could do it like a LeBron, like on their own or
Yeah.
like their. And I do throw Giannis more in the big than the wing category
No,
for
me too.
sure.
100%.
So, I think, like I said with Wemby, like as a big, I think in today's era of basketball, like you actually do just have to have a roster around you. Like it's not like you're
that's
LeBron.
fair.
Like you're not. I think even LeBron is more built to carry a team like Cleveland to win a ring than Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean he's better, whatever. Like, but there's certain players like that are just like Cooper Flagg actually is built to carry a team more than Wemby.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that, you know what I'm saying? So, but back to what I'm saying. I just think Giannis, bro, it's just so unfortunate that a player like this ended up in Milwaukee and he's extremely loyal and he might stay in Milwaukee the rest of his career. And he might just end with 1 ring.
Yeah.
Because you give up Drew Holiday. Like, those are the players, the reason that you win games, those are the players who make Giannis great.
Yeah.
You give up Middleton for Kuzma, which I get it. He's younger, he's healthier. But Middleton's the type of player that wins you playoff games if he is remotely healthy.
He almost won the series last year.
Yeah.
Kuzma's not winning you playoff games.
No.
I promise he's
No,
not.
sir.
So that's the type of stuff, and that's organizational stuff. I hate
Yeah.
to say it. Why you see players who, I'll be the first one to say, as much more skilled as he is, Jason Tatum's not better than Giannis.
No.
But he might, like, well, he probably still won't end up as an all-time better player, but if Jason Tatum were to win 4 rings with the Celtics,
you would have to consider putting him over.
You would have to put Jason Tatum, if he's the best player in all those teams, over Giannis. But can we really sit here and watch the game and be like, bro, if Giannis played for the Lakers, the Knicks, or
the Thunder, the Celtics.
Yeah, like any of these teams with great front offices, if he played in any of these organizations, he would be on the pace. If he played for any of them organizations, they were able to build around him, he'd be on the pace of a top 10 player all time.
Yeah.
He would be on pace of Tim Duncan or Giannis. Yeah. That's what we would be talking about, Tim Duncan or Giannis at the power forward position. And it just sucks that, once again, he's in Milwaukee instead of some of these organizations.
Yeah.
And honestly, I think it's going to get to the point with players like Cooper Flagg, AJ DeBanza, Victor Wembanyama's in a fine place, I think.
I hope.
Yeah, I
mean, we don't know.
We don't know yet. We don't know yet, but I think. But Anthony Edwards, I don't blame you if after your first contract's done, you say, I'm signing with LA. I'm signing with New York. I'm signing with Chicago even. Like, sign with these big market teams that, I can make a phone call and convince a remotely good player to come sign and play with us.
Yeah.
Because who's Giannis convincing to come to Milwaukee? Who's the best player to sign with Milwaukee since 2000? To sign in free agency, leave their destination and go to Milwaukee.
Brook Lopez.
I don't know.
Yeah,
That's my point. Wow. The reason I have the Lakers not as this year's champs, but next year's champs, if you don't think people want to go play with LeBron and Luka this offseason, the people that they're going to sign, you might as well stamp Lakers to win the championship next year if they're healthy and LeBron can sustain this ability.
Yeah.
Because it's the Lakers. It's the number one free agent.
Showtime.
It's the number one free agent destination this upcoming summer. Because if you're a spot up shooter, your career could change.
Yes.
If you sign a 1 year next year with the Lakers. So I think Giannis is becoming extremely underrated. I don't know what y'all's take on that is.
I'm a little bit split. I would say underrated, but I'm a little bit disappointed that he hasn't really been back since, what was it, the Suns series?
Yeah.
And you know, like you said, a lot of that you can't help, like injuries, and they haven't, like the whole stuff with Dame. It took him forever to get there, and he's hurt right now. And
blood
clot. He might be done for the year.
Yeah,
Wemby, a lot of people have blood clots. It's kind of sad.
Unfortunately, like we're not in a day and time where like you got to build around him. He can't just take him by himself. But like, I feel like to be solidified as a great or someone, and he's one of the most dominant players on the court when he's there.
Yeah.
But to be solidified as a great, like you can't just be one ring and done. I feel like
absolutely.
You got to be able to take down dynasties like the Celtics and stuff like that. Like how many times have you lost to them?
Yeah, and we can't look at your and you've been up 3-2 and got outplayed by Jason Tatum in a game 6
100%.
at your house.
Yeah.
So you haven't been perfect, Giannis, and to be honest, we could look at your ring and be like,
let's keep going. Yeah.
I say I don't know. Like I'm in between. Like I'll say he's overrated, but like that's not knocking him at all. Like if you put him on the court right now with any of the players, he's one of the most dominant. He's one of the best playing. So like you can sort of go either way. I mean, time will tell. What is he? Third? Being in 30s?
29 or 30.
It's about 30.
So we'll see. And the thing about him though, like his game's not gonna last forever.
No.
So time's ticking for sure. It'll be interesting to watch.
Him and Embiid, time is taking more than people think.
So I absolutely, first off, agree with everything you just said, Gavin. His front office has failed him extremely because
Kuzma was the dagger this off.
And we talked about this last episode. Drew Holiday and Damian Lillard is a better basketball player and a better all-time talent, better all-time legacy than Drew Holiday. You don't trade Drew Holidays. You don't do that.
Yeah. And
bro,
they fired.
Celtics go back to back. We're talking about.
Go ahead and say what you're going to say.
They fired Budenholzer a year after he wins.
They fired Budenholzer a year after he wins. They fired Adrian Griffin, who has them off to a great record with Dame. You hired Doc Rivers, and Doc Rivers didn't have a start to the season or anything. And the funny thing about this roster is they have built if you look at the roster on paper, it's not bad.
Yeah.
Like you have Grayson Allen, you have Gary Trent, you have Bobby Portis. Did y'all hear the names I just said?
Yeah.
And how they have shot Grayson Allen and Gary.
He's on Phoenix.
Yeah, they don't have Grayson Allen.
He's on Phoenix.
Oh, my fault.
Yeah, you're talking about AJ.
AJ. Yeah, my fault.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, but he's shooting the lights out the ball.
Yeah.
Gary Trent last year I think he was top 10 in percentage in 3-point shooting.
Yeah.
This team, I'm telling you, Pat Connaughton as well. No,
Yeah.
They just traded AJ Johnson, young talent who's playing good right now.
And he's playing good for
Washington.
He's playing good for Washington now.
Well, Pacers game series went to 6. Was it 6 last year?
And Chris Middleton played phenomenal. That was Chris Middleton's best series, and you would never know because they lost. Dame played great in that series as well.
He only played like 2 games.
And that's what my thing is. You fired. It seems like with them, it's more coaches than roster construction. Whereas with Denver, it's like the roster construction has been the biggest issue.
Yeah, the opposite. You got a good coach, you don't have roster construction.
Yeah, so I agree with everything you said in that aspect. But I would low key argue that Giannis is an overrated basketball player. And I'm glad you brought that up, and that's where I was going to touch on his championship run. When you look at his championship run, it's not as impressive as you would think it was. And
it ain't a Dirk ring.
It's not.
It's not in that tier.
And what he can take off of that performance is he dropped 50, shot the free throws great in a closeout game. That's the one performance that we can always talk about. Like, that's probably a top 10 performance ever.
Yeah, in the finals.
But at the same time, okay, you beat the Suns. Like, it wasn't. I very much value when a player beats a team that they weren't supposed to beat,
or that's been there. Like,
exactly.
Imagine, like, bro. I'm not gonna lie, like, that's why the Warriors had the upper hand against the Celtics in the Celtics' first ever finals. That's why, like, not gonna lie, looking back at it, bro, that seems like a lame finals. Bro, that gives me, like, Cleveland making the championship this year.
What? No, it's not.
No, I'm talking about the Suns.
No.
Like, they're better. But what I'm trying to say is, like, I don't know why, but I feel like a finals is a better story when both teams have...
A superstar. I see what you're saying.
A superstar or have been there.
Let me agree. I'm agree with you though.
Yeah.
Because I do think that wasn't the greatest team. I think that I wanted to see the Clippers make it that year, but Kawhi got injured. Obviously,
we always wanted to see the Clippers make it.
Man, the Clippers, boy. But they beat a hurt Nets team in that season, I believe.
Like, they wouldn't have beat the Nets if they just had. People don't even remember. Dinwiddie didn't even play. Like,
yeah,
bro. Dinwiddie, Kyrie, Harden. If one of them three was healthy, one of the three.
KD has one less shoe size.
Yes, literally, like, it's that close,
bro.
And then they play the Hawks.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, come on. His championship run wasn't as impressive, and I know guys in this generation, people like to put him up with the Kawhis, the Jokic's, even the KDs and the Currys sometimes.
The Sixers are chokers. Bro.
I would easily argue out of those 6 that have dominated this generation, in my opinion, I think I would put Giannis at the bottom of that list. I think Giannis is a worse basketball player than Jokic.
KD.
I think he's worse than KD.
Bron.
I think he's worse than Bron.
Curry.
I think he's worse than Curry, and I think he's worse than Kawhi. Because Kawhi beat his ass. And that's how we grade stuff. So, man.
Kawhi's run is just like.
And his run was. Kawhi's run is something that you could really look at. Like, you beat Giannis. You beat Embiid, Butler, and Simmons when Simmons was still good.
Good.
Like, I understand the finals they didn't have the Warriors. I'll give you that, but that's an elite playoff. When we talk about you beating teams, you carrying teams that you're probably not supposed to beat, that's the playoff run I look at. So Giannis, I kind of agree with both of you guys. Like, it's a split story on how we're going to talk about Giannis, because at one point he is dominant and he has had dominant playoff performances, but at the same time his runs have not been dominant. He's been injury prone and he has had some bad moments. Against the Celtics primarily. So
they lost to the Heat too, right?
Yes, they lost, and he was injured in that one as well. So, but he also played in games that they lost against the Heat. So it's going to be a split story on him. But next guy, let's talk about Derek Queen.
Darvin Ham's not enough to build around him in Milwaukee.
I would rather have Darvin Ham as the coach than Doc Rivers, but that's just me.
All right, Derek Queen.
Derek Queen, overrated or underrated?
So Derek Queen to me is starting to become overrated.
Ooh.
And I hate to say that because I felt like I called it before everybody. I felt like I saw it before everybody. I felt like I was so high on him, but he's almost becoming in people's mind a for sure prospect.
Yeah.
And in today's NBA, he's not a great shooter from the 3-point line. He's not a great defender. People are not Derek Queen is not a great defender. Like, he's struggling on Condon and the Florida. Now, granted, those are great bigs.
Yeah.
But my point is, I don't say that with Cooper when I go because that's why I'm for sure on Cooper.
Yeah,
because at worst, he's a 6'9" Derek White.
Yeah, exactly.
He's up to 10. He's up to 10 in the draft stock now, Derek Queen.
But I've seen top 5.
Yeah, that's what I've seen. Top 5 as well.
I've seen top 5 in certain draft networks or whatever. But yeah, I think he's becoming overrated, and that's not to say I think he's one of the most skilled players in this draft. Yeah. I love his touch around the rim, like we talked about with a hook or with a touch shot. Like he has it all around the rim. It's Jokic like. It really is. He plays off 2. He could play a slow step. He has the footwork. He has all the stuff that you're supposed to work on as a kid, and people overlook. He's mastered all of the basics.
Absolutely.
And I think if he goes to the right organization, he'll be great.
Yeah. But I think placement is make or break for him.
Placement is make or break for Derek Queen, and this is not a guy that you drop him in any organization and he just becomes a stud, because that's just not what it is. Because yes, he's younger, but I can't sit here and say I haven't seen, players of his build or whatnot. I mean, I can't say, granted, it's different because he was a senior, but I can't say watching Derek Queen, I thought it was more impressive than watching the end of Luka Garza.
DJ Burns. I'm not gonna say. I mean, that's definitely.
And DJ Burns is definitely a different level of weight.
There's a little bit more.
We knew DJ Burns couldn't guard. It's a different level. But I say with Luka Garza being able to shoot the 3 ball, having footwork, playing around the rim, playing in Iowa's Big Ten.
I completely agree.
Same conference.
Yes.
Luka Garza. Yes, he was a senior, so Derek Queen has more potential. But I can't sit here and say I'm for sure on Derek Queen to be a star. Now I think he's for sure going to be a player in the league. I think he's for sure going to make a roster, be on a team's bench, and be able to contribute off the bench. He's too talented to not. But I don't know. There's certain fits that just might not be great. And if you don't put shooters around him,
absolutely.
If he goes to the Jazz, he's not If he goes to, I don't know.
I feel like if he gets put on a team that can sort of contend and he can bind his role as young and he can develop, I think he'll be fine. But I think if you put him on a poverty team right now or a team that's looking,
what do we think about? I've seen a lot of people talk Sixers and him learn from Embiid. Why do you want to learn from Embiid?
That's a good spot though.
Yeah,
that's definitely a good spot to go. What do you mean? Why do you want to learn from Embiid?
When I think learn from a player, I think of LeBron.
No.
Or I think I don't think I want to learn.
Sometimes you can just watch a guy and be like, "Oh, that's pretty cool."
I mean, yeah, you can watch. Okay, but I'm not sitting here copying Joel Embiid daily.
Yes, he is, bro. He's the top 5 scorer of all time. That's a pretty good spot to go.
I'm thinking habits, bro. I'm not thinking
that's fair. I mean,
I'm not talking bro. No, but I feel like also Embiid has stuff. I don't feel like you can watch Embiid and mimic.
Yeah, there's a lot of qualities. You know
what?
Though. You just low key made me agree with you, low key. Hold on, because I low key think if he's around Embiid, and this is where I'll start my take actually.
Okay.
If he's around Embiid, he's gonna be a lazy ass guy.
My point, habits.
And this is my thing. Yesterday in a game against Florida, I kind of thought he was a catalyst for why Maryland started playing with such low energy, and that's what I'm worried about with Derek Queen, his motor. I don't know if his motor is for sure. Like you said, I don't know how great of a defender he's going to be. His shot is such a question mark for me because I'm not going to lie, when he shoot a 3 ball, it look like it's cash.
It does.
But he's not making threes at all. It is a pathetic number he's shooting at. It's under 20% right now.
It's 20.
Nah, it might be under. Oh.
I looked.
He made 6. No, he's made 6 on the year. He's probably at 12 right now.
That's my point. He made 1 in the tournament and jumped to 20, but all year he was at 8%.
Yeah, so it's bad, but offensively, this is a specimen. There is nothing missing from his bag.
No, his footwork is just beautiful.
But the thing also, I think he has to be a 4. I don't see him guarding any.
But then your 5 has to be able to shoot.
That's what I'm saying. How many undersized? He's undersized 4.
He's got to play with Wemby. He's
undersized 4. Okay, but he's not big.
He's 6'10".
He's a big 4.
6'10", 250. He's 6'10",
He's a big 4.
Can't shoot outside.
Yeah, he can't shoot outside.
So it's he's got to fit somewhere that, like Gavin said, you need a big.
If I'm the Spurs, pick him up,
bro.
That would be the best fit.
I agree.
That'd be the best fit because you got a defensive big that block. That's the perfect compliment, bro.
Yeah.
You got a big that can shoot, and then you got Derek Queen that can dominate in that middle. I mean,
that's better than the Cat Rudy by far.
I'd rather this. I mean, other than Cooper Flagg, I think if the Spurs are drafting, that should be the pick.
Yeah.
And they're gonna be drafting pretty high considering De'Aaron Fox has been shut down for the season, and they've just been getting lucky. It seems like in a lot.
You just sparked something.
Yeah, I didn't.
Spurs, go get Derek Queen.
Yeah,
we're talking about Stephon Castle, Derek Queen, Wemby. You're good.
De'Aaron Fox,
Chris Paul, please just teach him for one more year. You can sit on the bench. You could play.
Chris Paul, by the way, he did a good job this year. And
yes.
Yeah, good job, Chris. Did you have anything else to say about if he was?
No.
Okay.
But I like what Chris Paul has done with Shea, and I'm not saying Stephon Castle's done this, but I think Stephon Castle can average 20 in this league.
Oof. I'm not gonna say no because 20 is like a number where it's like, yeah, he could definitely I see the potential
I think he could average and he can guard 6'5", can guard.
And if Devin Vassell is your 3, I'm telling you, bro, this team, Devin Vassell as your 5th scoring option is not. That's
it's
good
not
scoring.
Bad,
that's good. Devin Vassell is young as well.
Yeah,
if we're just talking, if we want all these players to develop.
Yeah.
Keldon Johnson is young. Like
I do think. He was good for this beginning part, but I do think if you get Queen that can't shoot, you gotta move Sohan for something.
I mean, Sohan could be a bench guy,
but then you can't play him and Queen at the same time.
But you could play him and Wemby.
Yeah,
and that you might need another backup big, is what you're saying.
You see what I'm saying? Why do you want 4 bigs? Like I don't know.
But I feel like you could get away with maybe having 2 people not being able to shoot.
Charlotte. I feel like he'd be fine in Charlotte.
Brother, anybody who goes to Charlotte
they're
is
just cooked.
doomed.
Yeah, no, you're just cooked.
Nah, he'd be fine in Charlotte.
The only person who's gonna be fine in Charlotte is Cooper Flagg, because once again, he knows how to play basketball. It comes easy to him.
Derek Queen, he just needs to go somewhere he's gonna develop.
Yeah, the ego thing. Do you think LaMelo will be a number 2?
Bro, I don't know if LaMelo will be. What do you mean like a number 2?
Like, do you think like?
I don't think LaMelo will win for the rest of his career.
I agree.
That's what I'm saying. Like, LaMelo,
I don't care if he's a 2, 3, 4.
Is LaMelo going to be like, all right, I'll play second fiddle to you, Coop? I don't know.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
That's a huge. And once again, when we judge these prospects, and this is why I do look at Wemby so high, we have to look at the person, because when you get paid, all of that stuff is amplified. And all of those bad habits are amplified.
And I'm not gonna lie, from what I've seen All-Star Weekend, from just things that, it's all he said, she said, but like I love Wemby's attitude towards the game, and it gives me Giannis competitive. But honestly, it doesn't give me fake though. Giannis sometimes gives me like, I don't know, like not fake competitive, but like
Giannis does.
I don't know how to put it. Like I get real competitor, like. Bro, I really think that
I competitor, bro. Cooper Flagg, that's oh my god.
Nah, yeah, he gets me competitive.
I love Cooper Flagg. That is, I've not seen a draft pick like that have some dog in it.
Yeah, like he's a dog.
We're talking about. Yeah. Bro, I've seen competitiveness out of Debanza. I've seen competitiveness out of Cooper Flagg. I've seen competitiveness out of Anthony Edwards. I've seen competitiveness out of Wemby. The NBA might gain some rivalries in the next 2 or 3 years.
You're in good hands.
Yeah. Luka versus Shea.
Yes.
Like the NBA is in fine hands. We need some stories to build up because these guys are so young.
And what Shea ain't no dog. I mean he's a dog. Like he gonna go at you, but like he not gonna bark.
Yeah.
So it's that's the NBA right now with the young superstars that are actually winning and excelling. Other than Luka, they're not really like dogs. Jason Tatum not really barking at you.
No,
there's nothing wrong with that.
No, Jason Tatum's boring. Like
his boring superstars. Like there's nothing wrong with that. We're just saying like for the eyes. Like,
Jason Tatum is a like off the court he's like a Tim Duncan but corny.
Yes.
And then he's just on the court he's just extra talented.
Yeah. All right. So next player.
Yeah.
We got Ace Bailey. Overrated.
Ace Bailey's overrated in my eyes.
Yeah.
Y'all are tripping, gang.
No.
Do you think? Do you think he's even better than Dylan Harper?
No. I don't know. Dylan Harper is the second best player in the draft.
I'm making sure.
Bro, Ace, I think when it comes to Ace Bailey, his level of shot making becomes so underrated. Like we compare him to guys.
I'm not questioning that.
We compare him to guys like Brandon Miller, KD, obviously Paul George.
I think
Brandon Miller was not. Bro, I'm sorry. Brandon Miller is not the shot maker that Ace Bailey ever would dream. Brandon Miller could never dream about being as good of a shot maker as Ace Bailey is right now, as far as talent goes.
Brandon Miller.
But Brandon Miller.
Come on.
Bro,
But
you have to watch how Ace Bailey scores.
But Ace Bailey can't sit and do what Brandon Miller did, like on a Bama team and fit into a role and really perfect that and being a shooter.
Yeah, he played for Bama. I mean, he played for Bama.
I'm gonna be honest.
But Ace Bailey was a second option.
I think
because Dylan Harper was so great. Like, but I will say this: Ace Bailey is another one. He's a Derek Queen type of prospect where he has to end up in the right place. But he's putting that ball in the basket at an elite level when he gets to the league. There's no doubt in my mind about that. Like, turnaround Jay, he got it. 3-ball, he got it. He had elite performances all year for Rutgers. If we're just gonna talk about like he had elite scoring, and that's all I'm looking for. I don't care about anything else. He is one of the best scorers that I've seen in the last 10 years. Like it's an elite level. He's a great athlete. I can see him being a good defender, serviceable
he was
defender.
that efficient this year?
I don't know.
It doesn't matter, Jake. He was putting up 40 in college.
Know, but like I think we overlook him just because his frame. Like, you know, he's like, I feel like I saw something the other day. They're comparing him to KD and all this. He's just I think it's just his frame. I don't know if he's really comfortable with putting the ball on the floor yet.
Bro, he's a better scorer out of everybody because you know KD is the person that it's TV's off, guys. Don't care. KD is the person that we like comparing all these wings that can shoot to, right? There's no prospect since KD that is like KD that puts the ball in the basket like Ace Bailey does. You talk about Brandon Miller. You talk about Cam Reddish.
You talk about. You think Ace Bailey can make a move under 3 dribbles like KD can?
Yes, because he's shooting. You got
I don't know.
another thing.
It's not even that for me.
Though,
Ace Bailey is in the category of players for me, and there's a lot of players. There's players that are better than Ace Bailey that I throw in this category. There's players that are worse than Ace Bailey that I throw in this category. But I look at prospects, and this is what I talk about with Brandon Miller.
Yeah.
I don't think Ace Bailey can be, like, he has to be the guy, at worst, the second guy. Like, while
he gonna be an elite second guy.
Bro, he's not a for sure for me, bro.
He's not. And listen.
He's hit or miss, man.
You know the difference, and I talked to you about this, Gavin. I don't know if I've had this conversation a lot. Where is your release point? When we talk about KD got this thing up here. You're not contesting that, right? When we talk about Brandon Miller, shot pockets down here. I'll put the film in this video.
Wait, what's wrong with Brandon Miller, though?
When we talk about, I'm talking about as a scorer and as a shooter. Cam Reddish is down here. You got to listen to what I'm saying.
I know. Brandon Miller's bad. He's averaging 20, but pick someone else.
What you mean pick someone else?
Like, what's wrong with his shot?
I didn't say anything was wrong with his shot. Can I make my take first?
Yeah, fish.
Bro, his shot is down here, which means he's not getting it over guys like Ace Bailey and Kevin Durant are, which is where I was leading up to. With Cam Reddish's, same thing. The shot pocket is down here. I can literally show you film of exactly what I'm talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
Ace Bailey has the elite talent. Ace Bailey shooting this thing up here above his head. Bro, this is a guy that can, bro, he already has a turnaround game. He's had it since high school. Once again, he has to end up in the right system. But if a coach gives him a green light to go score whenever he wants to go score, he's going to do that. He is an elite. Bro, just a year ago, it seems like this wasn't. We were talking about Cooper and Ace. We weren't talking about Cooper and Dylan. Am I right or wrong? This was absolutely the conversation. This was absolutely the conversation. We were talking. People liked Ace more than Cooper did. Or people liked Ace more than Cooper.
I think his stock went down a little bit this year at Rutgers. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I don't think he can put the ball on the floor like how a lot of these guys in the league can. He does not have the handle.
Why does that matter?
And guards, because you don't have the guard skills. I don't
care about that. He's 6'9".
I don't think. Yeah, but what's he gonna be? A turnaround shooter just in the mid range?
KD does not dribble more than 3 times when he puts the ball on the floor.
I don't know, but Ace is all right. But like that level is insane. I don't know if Ace can get to that level.
I'm not even saying that. I'm saying I look at him as being maybe not as he's not going to be as dominant as Kevin Durant. I'm not saying that, but I think he's going to be a top 10 scorer in basketball. Absolutely,
I disagree.
Like, bro, when we talk about scoring, is Ace Bailey a better bucket than Cam Thomas?
Cam Thomas.
Cam Thomas, yes.
But Cam, you gotta talk, bro. You just said Cam Thomas, though.
Cam Thomas.
What?
Will he be like?
Cam Thomas is an individual that dribbles the air out of the ball that is 8 inches shorter. What are you talking about, Cam Thomas?
What does that mean?
He doesn't have the tools that Ace Bailey has. Nowhere near. And he's not efficient. Bro, Cam Thomas is dribbling the entire shot clock out and then bro, you're gonna score like that. Bro, I know you love Cam Thomas. There's a reason why he don't be getting respected. Like, bro, he literally will dribble the ball 15 times in one possession. And yeah, you're gonna score like that. Fine. Don't compare as a scorer.
But I'm just saying though, like I don't know what Ace Bailey did this year. He
dropped 40 points, 39 points, 35 points. What more did you want him to do? What did you want him to be as an NBA? Other than a scorer, what did you want him to be?
He didn't do that.
You wanted him to be Luka?
I don't think he did that consistently though.
Yeah,
he's not efficient.
What freshman? Bro, Cooper Flagg got you, and these Duke freshmen got you. What freshman is consistent?
Yeah, but like, I don't think he's.
My point is, bro, and this is just me. What I love about certain prospects like Cooper Flagg, even Brandon Miller's, I'm more sure, and this is why I say I'm not a for sure Ace Bailey. Like if there's a window of him being a bust, like there's a solid little window of that. There's a great chance of that happening for me. While there's certain prospects where, no matter how bad they are, they won't be a bust. Like, because they can fit into certain roles. And NBA is not all about who's the most talented, because when we talk about Ace Bailey, I hate to say it, there's a lot of guys that are just as talented as Ace Bailey in the NBA. There's a lot.
So the exact same argument that I just used for Wemby, basically.
No,
that's the same thing.
How?
Because it's safer, right? You know.
No,
Brandon
Ace
Miller
Bailey cannot fall into a role. He can't.
What you mean? He can score. What role can he not fall into?
And not everybody's asked to score on the NBA team. You got a one guy, you got a two guy, and you got a 6-man.
The first thing I said in my argument, if he gets put in the right situation.
That's my point. So, and everyone, I feel like the media has him for sure. Yeah, he's a bucket. He's for sure.
No one's saying that. Y'all just said he was. Y'all just said.
Who's y'all?
Y'all two just.
Bro, you just said they had him right there with Cooper. I don't even think it's the same conversation.
They did. What are you talking? That's not. I'm not making stuff up.
No,
that was a conversation.
That's my point, which makes him overrated because I don't think that's the.
That's not the conversation right now. You just said, bro.
What's the conversation right now? He was the third pick.
He was above Dylan Harper. He was above Dylan Harper, and he's not above Dylan Harper.
All right, so he was overrated.
No, bro. Dylan Harper.
He was overrated.
Dylan Harper was underrated. That don't change what Ace Bailey is.
Dylan Harper underrated?
He was third, so technically, yes.
He jumped literally. He jumped the spot.
Okay, and Ace Bailey was on the same team. Dylan Harper was the point guard, and Dylan Harper was the individual.
Dylan Harper had a way better year than Ace Bailey. It wasn't even close.
Because he had the ball in his hands and he wasn't being stopped.
And Ace can't go get it?
Brother.
He had a green light. Ace Bailey had a green light.
But he didn't have, Dylan Harper, no one was stopping Dylan Harper this year.
The other three guys on their team were horrible.
What does that have to do with Dylan Harper?
Ace should have the ball every other possession.
And Ace scored 30 points multiple times. And
during the get his stats.
Get his stats. Pull him up. He had multiple games. Multiple games of great scoring.
17 points a game, 46 from the field, 67 from the 3-point line, 30-something from the three. Low 30s.
I can live with low 30s.
In college?
Yeah.
That's like, it's not going to be the same in NBA.
I don't think his game definitely needs to take it to another level. If he's
he definitely has to.
You cannot knock that.
I just think y'all are extreme. What he is a scorer. What he is an elite scorer. I don't see.
All right, my fault. Then maybe I'm just wrong on what people think of him. What do people have him as right now in the draft? Like, the third?
Third. I think he's about that level. I think the way y'all talking about him, he's easily underrated. Who would you take over Ace Bailey in this year's draft?
Dylan Harper.
Dylan Harper and Cooper Flagg.
Cooper Flagg. Hold on.
VJ?
I'm not taking VJ Edgecombe over Ace Bailey. What are you talking about? Bro.
I was just saying.
Bro, Ace Bailey, y'all are not the only people that think this. I know I'm in the minority when I talk about Ace Bailey.
Jeremiah Fierce. No.
Bro, I'm taking Ace Bailey.
No, I'm not.
Bro, you can put Ace Bailey. Let's see. Who needs a scoring wing right? Let me think.
You take Concanepo?
Bro,
wait. Did you say Concanepo?
I want Ace Bailey on the Thunder. I would take Ace Bailey on the Thunder in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. You giving him on the block? Bro, I'm telling you need to watch this dude's film, bro. It's like
Ace Bailey cannot play the role of the 5th best player on the team.
I mean, that's very true. So he's probably going to have to go to like a
y'all need to get Concanepo, which that's what the hell's y'all getting.
Interesting. I'm getting a little bit lower.
Here's my point. Here's my point. No, I'm not. Here's my point. Ace Bailey is more talented. It's not even a debate. But when you talk about NBA players and the state of the NBA who needs expansion, when you have guys like Reed Shepard, number 3 overall pick, that literally can't play, and Ace Bailey's better than Reed Shepard.
Bro, I know you are underrating his talent now, gang.
I just said he's
but you're saying, I know where you're going.
He's
you're
the
saying,
second most talented guy in his draft.
You're saying in a league where it's extremely bro, Ace Bailey still stands out from any of these talented guys you're talking about as a scorer. As a scorer of the basketball.
Bro, listen to what I'm saying. The best players that are going to, and it's not always going to be their role, but the best young players that are going to be the most successful in the NBA, whether it's this year's draft, next year's draft, the next draft, I truly think, unless you're Cooper Flagg in this draft, even we saw it with Jared McCain, we saw it with Stephon Castle, we saw it with Zach Edey, even the best rookies this year. Once again, this will not always be your role, but the best rookies now, I truly believe, unless you are a Cooper Flagg or a Debanza, you're going to have to find a role at a young age. You're not going to come in and be the guy. Because I don't know what team you could tell me Ace Bailey could come on and be the guy right away. I don't know what team.
I don't know if he even needs to. Once again, I think he could be an elite number 2. And that's okay.
What team can he go to right now and be a number 2?
The Pistons.
If he goes to Detroit, his career might be over, bro.
What are you talking? We can't cut it out. And Gavin, you love it, don't you? I see it in your face. Boy, if he goes to the Pistons,
he won't. They're the 6th in the East.
You said give me a team. You didn't say do I think he's going to the Detroit Pistons?
I don't know, but I'm like, can we talk reasonable stuff? Like, can we talk teams? Because you just say 3rd. Okay. Where would he go to that he would be a number 2 guy?
See, this is a hard question on the spot.
I know.
Why? I mean,
right, it's either Washington, Utah, Charlotte.
I'm telling you, it's not even their fault.
If he goes to Washington, what's gonna happen?
He's going to be able to score, but that's not going to look. I mean, it's the same thing. If you don't win games, it's empty calories.
I don't know. I still think his scoring is.
Then I don't take. I don't know.
I think. So do y'all? What I'm getting from this is y'all think his scoring is overrated as well.
No, I think he's an elite talent. I just think he won't pan out in the NBA.
Yeah,
I don't think he'll be able to find a role. I don't think he'll be good in the NBA.
I don't know if he'll be able to score.
I need you to see this, boy.
I don't know if he'll be able to score in the NBA.
He's putting it in the basket game. I've seen Ace Bailey the same way y'all just talking about Wemby. I've seen Ace Bailey windmill a lob on somebody's neck. When have you ever seen that? I've seen Ace Bailey go back to the basket, shimmy, fade away from corner 3.
And he didn't put the ball on the floor. It was all spot up, wasn't it?
Isn't that a good thing?
No, bro. He can. You're seeing Ace Bailey come off the screen in the NBA, make a move and score.
I
don't care about that.
I ain't gonna lie. I just don't think.
Where's he gonna score?
In the mid post?
And it's questionable. I'm telling you, it's questionable.
I don't think so, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I think you're right. If he lands in a perfect spot, but the odds of all of this going in his favor, I just don't think Ace Bailey's going to pin on being a great NBA player. Now, if you're talking talent, he's literally number 2, and there's no argument in that.
Yeah.
But I just, in my personal opinion, for all of these things to line up for a player like that, in the state of today's NBA, I just don't know. Because I feel like the best players in draft now, like I said, even you're just going to have to find a role at first. Even with Stephon Castle, you're going to have to find a role at first, and then that'll just grow and grow and grow. You're not just going to come and give me the ball, get out the way. And I don't see Ace Bailey just, all right, like, taking a defensive assignment once. Or I don't know. I just don't.
I can see him being a good defender, though.
He's such a good scorer, but I feel like every single time Rutgers was in a close game this year, the ball was going to Dylan Harper at the end.
That literally means, once again, that really doesn't mean anything.
How?
Because Dylan Harper is a dog. Like, Dylan Harper is a 6'6" guard. We talking about damn near Kate Cunningham.
If Ace Bailey's such good of a scorer, why is the ball not in his hands at the end of the game?
Because it's, bro. I don't think. I understand what you're saying. I just don't think it's that big of a deal at Rutgers with Dylan Harper playing with you. Like, if Dylan Harper was the number 1 guy and he had it going more. Like, Dylan Harper is a good basketball player, bro.
I do wonder how Ace Bailey would have done at a Power 5, like playing in the Big Ten.
Good. He would have did good.
He did good. I don't know how dominant. I don't know.
Wait, what? Did you say the Big Ten? Was there a better conference other than the SEC? Like,
no, I'm saying like
Where did you want him to play?
Playing winning basketball. I want to see him playing winning basketball. On winning the basketball team. If you play for a 15-17 Rutgers and put up 17, like, I've seen players put up 15, 20 points on trash teams and not pan out.
But what more did you want to see from him at Rutgers? That's my thing. I feel like his stock has went down while his play hasn't really warranted that. But it's fair. I understand what y'all are saying. Let's move on.
I guess it's an empty calorie season. Yeah, I guess.
This the last one.
Yes, last one. Overrated or underrated? Jalen Brunson.
Jalen who?
Brunson.
Start this over.
Underrated. I think
Jalen Brunson or who? My fault.
It's overrated or underrated, dude?
Underrated.
Oh, my fault. Oh, Jalen Brunson overrated.
Underrated.
You think so? Okay.
I think,
bro, this is what's his rate? Like, I
feel like everyone has a gist of basically.
I love his game. Honestly, I think he's now
overrated. He's not a number one on the championship team. Never will be. I think people thought in New York he could bring them a title. He never will.
I don't think he'll win in New York, but he's. I think he's
one.
I think he is a top. Give me the guards. Curry. Who else?
I think he's top 5. He's top 5 point guard.
Give me the 5.
Curry,
Give me the 5.
Curry, Shea, Cade, and Luka. You put those over him, and that's it.
Okay, I was just making sure.
Maybe
Yes.
Cade.
Yes.
No, actually, I got Jalen Brunson over Cade right now. Still, I do still have Cade.
Okay.
Because Jalen Brunson hits big shots.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Brunson's the type of guy, you get him the ball late, like, he's going to go put the ball in the basket no matter what. He's absolute dog, and I think, like, you can't say he's overrated. What makes him overrated?
I think he's overrated.
I think he's overrated.
And I think the only reason I put this prompt in here is because I actually wanted to make a take. I'm not going to lie.
Wait.
I think scoring guards are just not as much. It doesn't equate to winning basketball as much as you would like.
No.
And Jalen Brunson is the absolute.
And small guards.
Exactly. And Jalen Brunson is the. I'm not going to lie. Could Jalen Brunson do any better than he's doing right now as far as just how he. Like, Jalen Brunson. I am a big fan of Jalen Brunson, is what I'm saying. But when you got guys like. And this is what I'm concerned of with Shea. I don't know if Shea as a mid-range driver and he's being the system, if you really could win like that. Because what guard has? What scoring guard? What
Jordan?
Primary scoring guard?
Jordan?
That's a point guard.
Oh, okay.
Kid has ever won other than Curry, and Curry could play off ball. You've never
The closest is Harden, but he's even a
The closest was Harden. Exactly. The closest was Luka, Harden. We'll see what Shea can do.
I feel like Luka and Harden both proved to me
that it can happen.
Yeah.
Talking about as the first option?
Yes.
Okay.
Like, Harden and Luka proved to me that Harden's done, but Luka and Shea both can do it.
See, but thing is, it hasn't been done though.
I could say confidently, a ball dominant. There's gonna have to be one in the finals this year from the West. It ain't gonna be.
I'm not saying he's not the first.
It's gonna be one of the two.
But are they gonna win a chip?
I say in the next 3 years, one of the two, dude.
I don't know. I mean, Luka's gonna have to win at some point.
Luka's
gonna be the first.
Bro, Luka or Shea, one of them two
they're gonna
will win in the next 3 years. Because Boston's.
Twin, I don't want to spark your team up. I don't even like the Celtics. But
I just don't know how much gas Drew Holiday has.
That's very true. I don't know how much health Kristaps has. Yeah. But as of right now,
yeah, we're nice.
Who's beating this team, bro?
Yeah.
Who is beating this team?
No,
it demoralized me even watching them guys. Like 7 guys that you don't like. Literally, and Sam Hauser come in, shoot the ball for you. Luke Cornett come in, give you some decent minutes, bro. That's what I'm scared of, and you never know. Maybe Jokic does come back, and they have a great team. Maybe Wemby takes that jump, like y'all are saying, and they're the best team. They're better than the Lakers and the Thunder. That's why.
But not in the next 2 years.
This version, small guards, I'm very interested, and I think a lot of credit needs to be put onto whoever's legacy it is, whichever number one guard, a point guard, whether that's scoring or distributing. Well, not Magic did it. So a number one scoring guard that could win a championship. We haven't seen it, and I'm curious to see
you wouldn't throw
who
Curry.
that would be. No, I wouldn't throw
2022.
Curry is so off ball for me that I really don't like. I don't think Curry.
So just say ball dominant point
guard.
Okay.
I think
that score though, because Magic Johnson also.
It's different in New York though, because I think all those guys can score.
Yeah.
Anobi, Cat, and
Do you think they have a chance to win it though?
Mikal Bridges.
Yeah, Bridges. I don't think But I'm not gonna say I don't think Brunson can't ever win a ring by him being like what separates
number
him?
2. Like, if Brunson played with Bron, he could do something maybe. Like, because, you know, Bron with Kyrie.
Bro, I just think the Knicks, like, and I'm kind of, I feel like I knew where you were going. Like, the Knicks this year, I'm not going to say I like them, but when you do look at the East and the state of the East right now, I can't say I like them any less than second.
Yeah.
I think,
and then if the Celtics
they're
get injured
first round, though. I do.
Against the well, no, yeah, I just don't think that. I don't think they're there yet. Pistons record against winning teams, playoff teams.
I think it's just scary for the Knicks because the Pistons have nothing to lose. It gives me like Pacers vibes last year.
Yeah, but once again, Pistons haven't been good against winning teams. Can I go on my Brunson take real quick? Yeah, go ahead.
So I felt like where Brunson became over, and once again, it's like Brunson. This is another one of them statements where Brunson cannot control it. So this is not heat to Brunson. This is heat towards the media and people because Brunson did what he was supposed to do. Yeah. But I felt like playing against historically the worst defense of all time since the NBA started playing basketball against the Indiana Pacers.
Yeah.
It became overrated in that series because, yes, you're putting up 40, but I'm watching the film to this day, clips of those buckets in that series.
I'm not remembering that series how you remember in that series, brother.
He was killing.
Like, absolute, like, but with Jalen Brunson, every shot is tough.
Yeah.
My point is, I don't know. I just feel like he came extremely overrated after that series, and I don't think it moved me. I'm not gonna lie.
That's fair.
It's not even a.
It definitely moved me though.
I'm not saying
he's one of the elite gamers.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying he's a winner, but as an individual, like.
He's a bucket.
2 minutes left to go in an NBA game. Like, I have no problem with him getting the ball. Like, he's up there in the conversation. With,
like, top 5 guys you would want with the ball in their hand.
He's just going to go get a bucket.
Yeah. He's a non-flashy, like, he's a fundamental, like Kyrie.
I think the question just is there a cap on talent? Is there a cap on talent with this guy? Like, is that the guy that can go? Because, once again, he's a gamer. Like, there's not much you could ask more from Jalen Brunson.
You can't.
Like, no one does that. Jalen Brunson is under-criticized because he doesn't play bad.
But I just don't like the roster build when you got Cat of... Like, DiVincenzo was a key piece for Brunson being able to shoot the ball.
Mitchell Robinson coming back has helped their defense tremendously, though.
It's helped their defense. I'm just talking about shot making. Like, and even defensively, they're good, but...
They've been one of the elite offenses in the league, though.
They've been one of the elite offensive in the league, but when it comes playoff time...
They ain't going to be able to guard Boston, though.
They're not going to be able to guard Boston at all. I've seen them season sweep Boston. I've seen Boston season sweep the Knicks. But the way they did it is like... It's how we play every team, but it makes the Knicks look the worst. We do a ball screen with Tatum. We get this switch. Tatum has Cat on him.
Either Cat or... Because you got two
Jaylen Brown.
Matchups.
You got Cat guarding. It's like, who wants to take Cat this time?
Absolutely.
Tatum's tired. All right, Pritchard... Like
I just think they were
that's the worst matchup for the Knicks.
I told you that I thought they should have traded OG, because the two wings, like, that's fine, but you literally you can guard on the wing, fine.
Yeah.
You can't guard on the perimeter with your 1, and you can't guard inside with your 5. So defensively, I thought they were going to be overrated before the season even began.
But in 2, they got beat by Pacers last year by 40 in Game 7 win.
That was a
Could they not have chose Hartenstein over Robinson? Like signing Trey Robinson?
I don't know why they didn't keep Hartenstein.
You know what I'm saying?
Hartenstein is one of the most underrated players in the game.
Yeah,
they could afford it. They've made other decisions to keep other players.
Yeah.
I thought maybe it was.
They re-signed OG.
Yeah, re-signed OG.
They got Mikal Bridges. I think they extended Brunson too. Or no, they cut his down. Never mind. But
they let go of Ingles.
Let's go speed questions with Gav, and then we're gonna end this video.
Speed questions with Gav. All right, so we got one NFL question, 2 basketball, and then some would you rathers that have nothing to do with sports. So Russell Wilson, in an interview in the press conference, said that he expects to start Week 1, be the starter for the New York Giants. What do you think about this? Does this mean that the Giants aren't going Shedeur? What do you think the Giants should do? Like, what's your take on this?
The Giants should not take Shedeur.
Okay.
Because they've made their bed. They've got 2 veteran quarterbacks. I think they know what they want to do at this point. They need to go Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter is...
Or Bill Carter?
No. I think mainly because their back end is weaker.
Yeah.
But I think Travis Hunter is becoming extremely undervalued for some reason. Like, bro, are we not seeing?
Yeah.
Like, am I missing
Best
something?
available.
Defense,
He's
offense,
the best available.
Yeah. So I don't understand that, but Russell Wilson starting. It's funny. At the same time, I feel like Russell Wilson has low key become underrated, and I feel like the entire Steelers season last year it was his fault, or that's the notion that it was. But
No.
I didn't think he completely just, failed, like was trash. The Steelers had many other problems. He's mid. And that's who Russell Wilson is. He's a mid quarterback. And I'm not gonna lie, you can win games with a mid quarterback if your roster is fine enough. Like the Giants don't have the worst roster. O-line is pretty bad. DBs are bad. But other than that, I mean, Hunter and Neighbors is hard to guard. That would be hard to guard, and then you have Hunter on the other side. You need a number one corner. There should be no other choice, in my opinion. And I think Shedeur should go to the Browns. But the Browns have never had an elite franchise quarterback in their entire franchise history. And Jim Brown used to play, so they've been around for at least 70 years. Baker was it. Yeah, man. But they've mishandled a lot of guys, so they're going to have to take a risk at some point. It's probably going to be Shedeur. And it's going to speak volumes if he can succeed in that situation. That's all I'll say about that question.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, honestly, you gotta go Travis Hunter.
Yeah, you have to.
And if they don't and they go Shedeur Sanders, I don't hate it. Yeah. And the reason I say that is because that might set up Shedeur best for the future. Because you get your quarterback for the future, but you also...
But I wouldn't hate it.
You don't get fired if you're Dable because you might be able to win now as well.
Right, but wouldn't you...
I would still pick Hunter.
But I don't hate the fact you drafted Shedeur, though. Yeah. Wouldn't you hate the fact that they picked up Winston and Wilson?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you still hate what they're doing. It wouldn't make sense.
It wouldn't make sense, especially Winston. If you got Wilson and then picked up Shedeur, I don't think it's dumb, though. But
if you just had one guy and then picked Shedeur, that's how you. That's what I think they should have done.
Yeah. That would be good vibes, though. That'd be good, PR.
It would.
All three of them. That's but that does seem like a headache for. I don't know.
It's too much. It's just overcrowded. Tommy DeVito too. That's a clown ass quarterback room.
Yeah. That's all I really have to say about that. You want to go to the next big question?
Yeah.
Alrighty. What's y'all's reaction to the Taylor Jenkins firing from the Memphis Grizzlies?
We need explanation now.
Why?
This team I feel like there hasn't even really been problem. I haven't been paying close attention, but
fifth in
the toughest conference.
But the recent news, they got Desmond Bane and Santi Aldama got into a little altercation. They've been, it's been a little heated in the locker room, but keep going. That's
okay. But still, regardless, I don't care if you're tanking. You do not fire a coach 9 games out from the play. I don't care if you're the 1 seed or if you're the 15 seed. You do not fire a coach 9 games before the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yes.
At least see what's going to happen here. Now you got to bring in a new coach or move up an assistant, and they have no feel for it.
Bro, I'd rather you fire him when you're down 0-3.
Yeah.
Or bro, this is the worst time. This guy has the whole locker room. This guy has coached Ja and all of these guys since, how is your starting center Edie going to play with a new coach coming in the playoffs when you need him to step up? This is just terrible timing for a team who's not old and extremely experienced. This is not it's not we fired David Blatt. LeBron's going to. No, this is not. You don't have that confidence. The Memphis Grizzlies are cooked now.
Yeah.
Because we all know how this goes. The assistant is not going to come in and do it the same way.
No.
So you're going to have guys. Bro, there's probably going to be certain guys playing more or less.
Yeah.
And then it's just going to, it's just not a recipe for success 9 games from the playoffs. You let it play out. You let him fail. You give them a reason. He either wins the title or makes a conference finals, or if he doesn't, you're warranted to fire him because with all the talent he's had, then you could say, all right, 5 years of whatever, we're firing him. But the fact that you sit here and just 9 games from the playoffs, there literally has to be something that we don't know.
Y'all know whose fault this is, right?
Whose?
It's John Morant's. This was an organization that 2 years ago you thought was going to be a contender for a good amount of time.
Yeah.
John Morant was easily
Didn't
I
handle
would say,
himself.
easily projected top 7 NBA player. This
Now
year,
he's not a
Jaren Jackson scores better than Ja Morant.
Yeah.
And the development has been completely slowed down.
Bro,
Dylan Brooks is people hate him, but damn,
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes he's gonna give you good minutes.
Yeah.
So honestly, I think they missed the window that was in the future. They never got to conquer that.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying, and it was based on Ja and the firing. Once again,
I don't think you can ever.
Everything that's happening with that organization, I'm not going to blame it on general management right now because, like I said, the development of everything they had going was based on Ja. First off, getting injured, which I don't know if we can blame Ja for that.
Bro, this man
and
could
then
have been the face of the league.
playing with Glocks.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know if we can.
And honestly, you know this, and I know I got pushback from you, but I was never the biggest fan of Ja play style to the playoffs as a best player.
Yeah.
You know, I look at guys like Brunson. Imagine pairing him with a guy like, Bron. It gives me Kyrie vibe. Like, you know what I'm saying? I imagine like Ja Morant. You pair him with a Kevin or an elite forward. I feel like that's a great fit. But with a point guard that wants to get downhill, no matter how clutch or how much he shows up in the playoffs, I don't love point guards that are not able to hit shots at an elite level. He's not able to hit shots at an elite level. I'm not a fan of that in the playoffs. Being your best player, I'm just not a fan of that. I don't know if it's ever even worked.
But let's be. The thing I loved about Ja,
he showed up in the playoffs.
He did. Like all of that
he
stuff
showed up
being
in the
said,
playoffs. He showed up in the playoffs.
Yeah.
But once again, like it just wasn't enough to beat the Lakers.
That was okay though. That was okay then because
it was okay.
They weren't supposed to beat the Lakers.
Exactly. My point is though, I never saw the Grizzlies getting over the hump. Like that was never a vision for me. I never saw.
I think that's where we disagree.
I never saw. Even Ja Morant handled himself perfectly. Handled himself how maybe Anthony Edwards handled himself, like not getting in trouble, none of that. I don't see a vision where both of them, by the way, because of their organizations, not necessarily kind of. Now I don't question Anthony Edwards. I question, shot making with Ja, all that. I don't question that with Anthony Edwards, but both of them organizations, because of their success at their superstar players' young age, people thought, all right, they could take next step. They could take next step, and there's certain teams. Whether it's, I just don't see that window for them ever being unless they make a big splash. And I don't see organizations like that being able to make a big splash because I don't know a lot of people who sign in with Memphis. And that's my point. I just don't see I don't see Anthony Edwards. I actually could see it. But I definitely don't see the Grizzlies with Ja Morant being the best player ever making an NBA Finals.
But is it fair to say that the Grizzlies were kind of in a similar situation to the Thunder right now?
No.
It is.
Wait, as in what?
Elite.
But can we agree that they're not even the same? Like, bro, Shea with his shot making.
The Grizzlies were a 2 seed, brother.
No. I'm talking about Shea and Ja. Don't talk about like.
Bro, that's what I think you're underrating Ja. Ja shows up in or he did. So that's what I'm saying. He showed up. He was a player that showed up in the playoffs. You have Desmond Bane, who's an elite scoring guard. You have Jaren Jackson. This team was destined for something special. I'm not even, like if we're gonna say it about the Thunder, we have to at least say that this team could have did it because this Thunder team is.
I'm just saying I don't think they could have did. Like, I didn't see this.
That's fair, but I thought the Grizzlies were really they had something special, and Josh's trajectory did not end up where I thought, and he hasn't been bad this year, but. It's not been
when you get out for 2 years, it's hard.
Yeah, I will say I knew that. I knew once the whole he has to sit out a year. Nah, that was when I knew it's over with because you don't players like that, especially you just don't come back from playing a year. I mean, I think even no matter anyone in this game, like sitting out, like the only person I've been able to see do that is Michael Jordan.
Yeah,
sit out and just come back and. Yeah. So I mean, like I said, I just never. Like I said, I don't know. Maybe that's just how highly I think of Shea. I look at Shea as like literally like. I'm not even gonna get into my Shea being the best point guard peak wise ever. Non-sports related. Would you rather? Would you rather receive cleaning supplies or a weighing scale as a present when you get older?
Cleaning supplies.
I say cleaning supplies. It's just useful. Like,
why would you ever want to?
I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't know if this is me. Like, I don't get offended by gifts. Like, It's just
like if you get socks for Christmas or something.
or like soap. Like, thanks.
Bro, you gotta be if my grandma gets me hamburger socks for Christmas, I'm wearing the hamburger socks. Because you took time out of your day. It's hard to find genuine people nowadays. If you took time out of your day to get me anything, I'm gonna give you your flowers, bro. Like that, basically.
I don't know if I'm wearing the hamburger socks though. I don't know if I'm wearing the hamburger
They might
socks.
just stay in the
I'm
drawer.
gonna wear some like joggers though. Like you're not gonna see them, but I'm gonna wear them.
Would you rather never brush your teeth again or never brush your hair? And when they say no brushing your hair, you can't shave.
Hair. I mean,
I'd say
teeth. I would never.
That's so nasty. I feel like you.
Yeah, I gotta
have to brush my teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like a bone. Like,
But I'm not gonna. Actually,
you could die from that.
I take it back.
No, you could die from that.
Well, it's hard to eat healthy in today's economy. But if you actually do eat the right things, your teeth don't decay. Like you don't actually need to brush your teeth.
You're saying like if you only eat.
Like I don't know what the diet
It's probably
is.
it's probably just all the foods that God's made.
Absolutely.
Like that's probably what
but I just feel like you.
Like,
First thing you do.
But I just feel like
I don't care, bro. First thing in the morning, you're brushing your teeth, bro. You have to. Like,
I mean, as a lifestyle thing, that makes sense.
And also like.
But if I had
those people who eat like that and their teeth still are extremely wild, no, they breath stink though. Like,
no, it don't gotta stink.
Why does it not have to stink?
Chew some gum, get some mouthwash.
All right, mouthwash. I'll get if you have the
like I feel like there's
the one with alcohol.
I don't, bro. But I think I don't know. Is that right? Like, will your breath stink?
Yes, bro. Your breath will stink if you just go to sleep and breathe out your mouth.
Yeah, but that's because you already done ate all the things you done ate during the day. No.
If I go to bed, right, brush my teeth for 30 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. Like my teeth, my mouth, my tongue, everything's perfect. I do mouthwash, I water floss, I floss, I do everything. Water pick, I do all of it. And I go to bed like this. Bro, I'm gonna wake up with bad breath.
Bro, once again though, that's because of the food you eat though. Like that McDouble not helping you, gang. It's not. I'm just curious to see.
Have y'all tried that mouth tape stuff?
I might start. Hey, Ashton Hall, look, he might have a point, man.
Nah, I ain't gonna lie.
It's good for you though, I think, right?
Yeah.
So it was like put water in the bucket and put Band-Aid.
Your face like right here. I think like your face right here like it's skinnier.
Yeah,
like
it gets more defined. I'm not gonna lie, he's getting clowned, but I mean, dude is low key spreading some positivity. Like we have to give that to him. Now, I think the glorification. You know the guy who does
the puts his face in. Yeah, I don't know exactly.
I think the glorification of a
LeBron James has his own genre of music. Sorry.
Hold on, bro. Let me make my point.
All right, my fault.
Bro, I think the glorification of like a day in the life. Ain't that a little like?
Nah, it is tough.
Is it?
I'll sit there and watch him.
No, I'm saying like it's a little weird to me. Like,
no, I'll watch him.
No, I'll watch him too. But like
if you go into Target and you see a dude like got the tripod in your aisle, it's kind of like
I'm saying like are you serious? Like,
but it is like satisfying at the end of the day.
But then again, we're sitting here in front of like I can't really
Wait,
be too
it's satisfying.
I think it is. You've never sat there and scrolled through you remember Drew Walls?
No.
Satisfying is not the word.
He was on a crazy run.
I don't remember.
But I can't say I'm watching him and I'm just satisfied. Like, bro,
you're gonna sit there and watch it, bro. Don't lie.
Who? A Day in the Life?
Anyone,
I don't know
a Day
who
in
that
the life.
is.
I don't give a damn about
the only Day in the Life I ever watched was when I was in middle school and I looked up to like Sharif Cooper. Or like,
yeah, that's the only Day in the Life I've ever seen.
That's the only Day in the Life I've ever seen. I've never watched a Day in the Life of like a non-athlete trying to, I don't know.
Like bro, you are doing a day. Let's use Ashton Hall for example. You're posting yourself putting on leg sleeves and thinking I care. Like that's some content that could have been left out. I would have just much rather seen a video of you saying, "Hey guys, if you want to get a strong jawline, here's a tutorial. Get the bucket of water, get the mouth tape."
Now you want to wear the mouth tape because now you're curious. He's putting you on.
Bro,
I've seen that on TikTok.
I've seen that before Ashton Hall.
Yeah. Look, I'm going to say 7:36 he jumped and 7:40 he landed.
Bro, it might be Superman.
Right, I'm getting bored. Thank you guys for watching.
Oh, yeah, thank you guys for
like, comment, and subscribe. Peace out.
At 4 a.m. this dude going out and doing push-ups, bro.
Bro, that is hilarious.